Welcome to the Undisputed Podcast. I'm your host, Jenny Taft. This podcast is the full show from today's episode of Undisputed from start to finish. We've got a busy slate, so skip Shannon. Let's get to it.
Welcome to Undisputed. We are live from Los Angeles. I'm Jenny Taft here with Skip Bayless, Shannon Sharpe. Hey guys, how we doing?
Good morning, Skip. How are you? Go ahead, just do your thing, Skip. Don't worry about me. I'm over here.
A little late.
Nah, I'm good. I'm good. Hold up.
Still
Last
prepping?
second cramming. It's called cramming for the test.
Cramming.
That he is going to fail.
Skip.
Yeah. By the way, tonight is the night
What day for what?
that LeBron James proves once and for all he is greater than Michael Jordan. It's going to happen tonight
It wasn't
at
nice,
Staples.
Skip. That happened like
Oh,
4 years ago, nights ago.
really? 4 years
Yeah.
ago. I can't wait for
How you
tonight.
doing, Malibu Barbie?
Yeah.
Look at
good.
How you doing, Skip? Today? How you doing, Skip? I
Thank
just
you.
want to know
Better
how
name
you
for
do
me.
it.
I'm doing way better than LeBron James.
Oh my gosh,
You know what?
we are going to
Yep.
talk about it. You set yourself up for that. Will the
Yep.
King pass the GOAT tonight? We might be seeing that. And is it time
Like
to
a real
worry
GOAT,
about
maybe.
the Warriors? Hey, are we talking about them? But we're going to start with Kyler Murray. He could be the #1 overall pick next month, but he apparently didn't leave a good first impression with a lot of teams at the Combine. Former NFL GM Charlie Casserly, who now works for NFL Network, said the comments he heard about Kyler were the worst he's ever heard about a highly rated quarterback. The Heisman Trophy winner reportedly didn't do well in interviews that emphasized leadership, study habits, and board work. That was the only interaction teams had with Kyler since he chose not to work out. So, Shannon, what do you make of this?
I'm disappointed. Skip, I know Charlie. I worked with Charlie on the previous show that I was on for a decade.
Yep.
I think the last 8 years, I worked with Charlie Casserly. He responsible. He's a general manager of the Washington. I think they won a Super Bowl, and he helped put the Houston Texans together in the early stages. I do not believe that Charlie just made this up. I believe he got this from somewhere. But what happens, and I don't think Charlie is thinking like, man, if I say this, this is going to be perceived this way. I don't think he thought. I think he got that information from a couple of teams, and he went with it. But what it does, Skip, is that it goes back to the antiquated, the stereotypical about the black quarterback. When he says the board work, what does that come with? Not smart enough. Because for the longest time, you know, blacks, they can't think fast enough. They can't think on their feet. They can't think under stress or duress. And it's just, we heard this about Cam. We heard this about Vince Young. We heard this about Jameis. Last year, Bill Polian said Lamar Jackson should switch positions to play slot receiver. Come on, man. It's hard for me to believe, Skip, after 15 minutes, you can determine all of that. Granted, was he in the most complicated offense? Because it seems to me in these systems, Skip, they call a play and they run it.
Yep.
Now, but what upsets me is that we seem to never, and I get it, that's Kyler Murray, potential overall draft pick. If they say this about Haskins or they say this about Daniel Jones or the guy from Missouri, I don't know if it generates the buzz that Kyler Murray will generate. But what it does, Skip, now, I'm like, really? Because I'm like, really? It just feels to me that maybe someone put this out, hope it damages Kyler, he slides down. But it only matters what Arizona thinks. And when he went in there to that interview, how do they feel about him? Because that's all that matters. Skip, let me tell you an interesting story. I remember Deion was telling me the story, and I think he came out in '89, a year before I did. And he goes into an interview, I think it was the Giants. They're picking 18th, but he doesn't know that at the time. So he sits down, they start to ask him a question. He's like, hold on, wait a minute. Where y'all drafted? They're like, 18th. He gets a walker. I ain't gonna be there when y'all draft. Maybe it's a situation where you guys are drafted. I'm not gonna be there. Maybe I saw the Dan Patrick interview, Skip. It didn't come off like he was very rehearsed. Like he hadn't made a decision, and Dan Patrick was asking him questions as if trying to get information, as opposed to just saying, you know, we haven't made a decision. When we make that decision, we feel comfortable with whatever decision we make. It was like Dan was like pulling teeth, like, well, if you play if you get drafted by the Raiders, well, I hadn't made it. What about your pro day? Are you going to the combine? things that would have divulged what he was going to do. Skip, every quarter, they make it seem like if you're not Peyton Manning on the board, you're not Peyton Manning with leadership, you can't be a good quarterback. That's in personality. Skip, if Peyton Manning had not done Saturday Night Live, if Peyton Manning had not done interviews, I'm not so not interviews, commercials. I'm not so sure people outside of Indy would have known he possessed the type of personality that he had. Because when you look at Peyton Manning, all you see is Omaha, him running up and down the line of scrimmage, pointing at guys, pointing at that, and doing all that. You wouldn't think he has that type of personality. But to do this to this young man, you know how this is going to come across, Skip. You know what it's going to do. People are like, here we go again. Really? So no other, and this never happens. We don't hear about white quarterbacks not being able to do good at the
sometimes I have, but go ahead. Mostly it's the black
quarterback.
Yep.
We don't hear leadership. It's hard for me to believe, Skip. This guy is a terrible leader.
Yep.
Given what he was able to accomplish. Granted, he was only there for a little while, but I'm trying to figure out how can you deduce all this, Skip, in a 15-minute interview?
So, I have 99 problems with what Charlie Casserly said. In fact, I have 199 problems with what he said. And you worked with him. I knew him more from a distance as the GM of the Redskins. And by the way, he was there for 11 years and they won 1 Super Bowl. So it wasn't like he created the Redskins dynasty of the 80s. He came at the tail end of it.
Yeah, Bobby Beathard had actually put it together.
That was Bobby Beathard who went into your Hall of Fame. Was it last summer?
Maybe last year. Maybe it was last year.
I believe it was. Charlie Casserly then went on to the Houston Texans and they were fledgling, and he tried to build a foundation, and they went 18-46 over his 4 years with the Texans, and then he was removed from that job. So he's been doing this since 2005 for various outlets. And my first problem was that I listened to the clip on NFL Network, and he just blurts out that he heard this. But it's like damning with faint praise, except he's damning with faint details because there's no details provided. Did he hear this from one GM or 5 or 10?
Right.
If you would background it, if we reinforce it, give me detail, then I'd say, oh, wow, you talked to 10?
Did he say more than 2?
I didn't get any of it. I didn't get any context whatsoever here.
Interesting.
So now, the first thing you have to ask, has Charlie taken the time to watch the tape? Because the tape does not lie on this kid. And again, I didn't watch the tape, but I watched every single snap he took at the University of Oklahoma, and all I saw was clutch playmaker. All I saw was NFL-bound star. So let's start with that. Now, the next problem is, to your point about 15-minute interviews. How can you ascertain, how can you discern leadership in 15 minutes? Wouldn't you have to go interview his coaches or his teammates or people around him? I don't know, people who lived around. I don't know. How do you get leadership out of a 15-minute interview? I have no idea. How do you get study habits out of 15 minutes? I don't know. Help me out. How do you know a kid's study habits out of just asking him about his study habits? Is he going to say, I don't study? Is that what he's going to tell you?
Probably
I don't know.
Not.
They do put you up on it used to be the chalkboard, now it's the whiteboard, okay? Right. So if you want to deduce from that he has no idea what he's doing, okay, God bless. But again, now we're back into the stereotype.
On the surface.
Yeah.
Now they got electronic equipment. They put you on the iPad.
Whatever they put you on. Yeah, yes. I got you. I got you. But Jenny will attest to this, and I'm going to get Jenny's thoughts on this in just a moment. Kyler Murray is the flip side of Baker Mayfield in personality. He is not outgoing. He is not particularly warm. He is not charming. He's not going to give you his insight. It's in there, but he's not going to share with you his deepest thoughts. Baker will share like crazy. They both have giant chips on their shoulders, but the chip manifests itself very differently in both undersized quarterbacks. Baker wears his chip on his sleeve. He's going to point at you, he's going to call you out, and then he's going to do it to you. Kyler's just going to do it to you.
Right.
He's not going to be demonstrative about it. He's not going to celebrate his touchdowns at all. He's not going to do helicopters over the field or planes or whatever Baker does to celebrate, right? He just goes to the sidelines. He is all business on the football field. Now we get to the underlying MO at the Combine. Remember, obviously, Kyler shares an agent with Cliff Kingsbury. So there is open line of communication right to a key decision. He's not the head decision maker, but a key decision maker as the new head coach of the Arizona Cardinals. Don't you think they have pretty good intel on what the Cardinals are thinking? So, how many teams wanted to interview Kyler Murray below number one, below Arizona? I have no idea. How deep would he go down in interviews? Well, if I know Kyler, he can be a little difficult if he decides this is wasting his time. A lot of these, if he did, I don't know how many others he did because nobody reported this. Did he do 5 other interviews?
I would assume at least that many.
Okay,
at
more?
the bare minimum that
okay,
many.
Maybe more. Did he go into the non-Arizona interviews thinking, this is a waste of my time and I'm going to give them nothing? Do you know what happens? Do you know how it becomes spy versus spy at the combine, where a lot of teams say, there's no way I'm going to draft Kyler Murray, but it's highly possible I'm going to have to compete against him. So I want to interview him so I can pick his brain to see what makes him tick so that we can compete. How can we game plan against this? Oh, he doesn't like this. He doesn't enjoy this play. He likes this formation, but he doesn't like this formation, whatever it is.
Or I'll say something bad, Skip, and maybe he slides to me.
Okay, maybe you could do it that way. But there's a lot of gamesmanship going on. There's lots of smoke and there's lots of mirrors going on. There's a lot of game playing going on in these interviews because everybody sort of knows what's about to happen.
Right.
But let's try to make this happen by doing that or not saying this or doing that. But again, did Kyler come off as a little bit of a jerk in the Dan Patrick? Yes, he did, because he didn't want to be there.
Right.
And
why did he agree to it?
I think he was selling something.
He was
right?
Gatorade or something.
He was selling a product.
Exactly.
Okay, I got it.
That's on him.
Okay.
Yes,
Can he be a little bit of a jerk when he decides this is not what he wants to do? Yes, he can be that.
Skip, why go there if you don't want to be there when you know what they're going to ask? They're going to ask, what are you going to do? Are you going to play football? Are you going back to college?
Okay. Well,
you
he's
should
just
have
trying
all
to
that.
go through the right motions.
Yeah, we just have it all
I was
rehearsed.
uncomfortable. He went and stood on the field with the quarterbacks and did nothing.
That's right.
All day Saturday, he just stood at the back of the group listening. And I was like, this is a little awkward, isn't it? Yeah. Okay. All right. So, who is the Kyler you knew? Who you got to know? How did he come across in interviews to you? How did he come across before the interview and after the interview?
Yeah, it's interesting because this report really bothered me because I think when we talk about leadership, being shy is different than not being a good leader.
Okay.
And the Kyler I knew from talking to him plenty before games, post game, I never once got the impression that he was a bad leader. And what I go off of is how he is to his teammates, how his coaches respect him. And when you talk to his teammates and when you talk to Lincoln Riley about Kyler Murray, you cannot deny the leader he is on the field. And I'm sick of this discussion that you have to be this perfect mold to be a successful
You're not
quarterback.
Peyton Manning, you're not good leader, Skip.
We don't necessarily need to hear the perfect interview from Kyler Murray. Dan Patrick interview was a little uncomfortable, but it came across that he was shy, a little unprepared, and maybe the wrong timing to be in a situation like that. I mean, Dan asked the right questions, but Kyler wasn't prepared for the right answers. But I'm just thinking back on how many times we talk about athletes that don't take the next step because they're not viewed as a leader because of the way they carry themselves in interviews. Who cares? What does he do on the field? And he leads people on the field, and that's what we should be going off.
I totally agree.
He leads by example.
Exactly.
And the thing is, Skip, and I'm going to give you a little pushback on Charlie. Charlie never said any of these people said that he couldn't play.
You're right.
He's speaking to what they told him. And you have to be very, very careful how that's going to come across. Because when you say this, you say blackboard and a whiteboard or however you want to say it. Okay, so what? He didn't call his own plays. Because it seems to me, Skip, maybe it's more Sean McVay. Call the play. Okay, this is where you go with the football. Okay, Everybody is not Peyton Manning sitting there watching 25 hours of film, even in college, having 3-4 plays. Okay, if it's this defense, we're going to run this. If it's that defense, we're going to run that. No check to the run. No check to a pass. Everybody's not that sophisticated.
Peyton
it's
was
okay.
his own coordinator.
Right.
He was. Yeah.
It's okay.
Yep.
They make it seem like, well, if you're not Peyton Manning, if you didn't call your own plays in college or had the opportunity to audible to 3 or 4 different plays, oh, man, he ain't nothing. Or if you're not General Grant or 4-star general, he's not a great leader. Come on, people. Damn. He's a 20 years old, Skip? He's 20. He's, 21?
21, I believe.
Because he redshirt. Okay, 21. Come on. It's not, I just, for me, Skip, there are a lot of times I get information and I check it 2-3 times, but I'm uncomfortable saying this because of how it's going to be perceived. I say, you know what? Let somebody else do it. Let somebody else break that story. That ain't for me. And I wish Charlie would have thought about that, because it's going to come out and people are going to hear it. And they said the same thing about Cam. They said the same thing about Vince Young. They said the same thing about this one and the same thing. Like, how many times is, I mean, that was one, Warren Moon had to deal, so many other black quarterbacks had to deal with this, and I thought we were past it now, and still.
And it started all the way back when the LA Times sent me to Grambling, Louisiana, to do a big piece on this kid named Doug Williams in 1977.
Right.
And I called a prominent NFL GM just to gauge his draft stock, and the GM told me, he said, you can use this, don't put my name on it. He doesn't have the mental capacity to play in our league. Well, he became the first black quarterback to win a Super Bowl, and he did really well for both Tampa and Washington.
And that's the thing, though, Skip, because for the longest, they couldn't think, well, you couldn't play quarterback and you couldn't play center.
Yep.
Because those are thinking positions. All the positions you have to think.
Yep.
But at the center position, Skip, you're making the line call, you're doing all those things, and obviously at the quarterback position.
Yep.
So when you hear that, you hear blackboard, okay, his mental capacity. Can he think? How fast can he think? Can he think under duress? You see leadership, work ethic. He doesn't, lazy.
Work ethic?
How do we know that?
But how do you get it out of a 15-minute interview?
Exactly.
Well, he worked hard.
Kyler, are you lazy? Yep, I'm lazy. What?
How about this, Skip? I'll put it like this here. He worked hard enough to be a first-round draft pick in baseball and a potential #1 overall pick in football. How hard is that? So he just, so what? He just rolls out of bed and go plays? He just rolls out of bed and go? He had to do something.
Yeah.
I don't know. All I know is if Arizona doesn't take him, every team that passes on him will forever regret it. That's how much I believe in this kid at the NFL level.
Well, first of all, I believe Cliff Kingsbury, when he was at Texas A&M, he tried to recruit. Well, he ended up going to Texas A&M, right? Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay. So he went to this man's home, sat on his mom and dad's couch, and talked to him longer than everybody that interviewed him at the combine. Now, I'm going to trust Kingsbury's assessment of Kyler Murray more than I'm going to trust anybody that had 15 minutes in an uncomfortable environment.
Right.
Because I believe Kyler Murray is more comfortable sitting on his mom and dad's couch than he would be in a chair in a combine in Indianapolis.
Right.
Now, that's what I believe. Now, if Cliff Kingsbury is comfortable, that's all that matters, Skip. He doesn't need 25 teams to look. Man, I can't draft a 5'10 quarterback. I can't draft a guy this. I can't draft a guy. Okay, you don't need to. He needs one team to love him. You and I both believe the team that loves him happens to be the team that has the first pick in the draft, which is the Arizona Cardinals. That's all that matters.
And remember, unfortunately for Kyler, Cliff was gone after he recruited him because then he got the head coaching job because he coached Johnny Manziel's Heisman year as the coordinator. And then he got the head coaching job at Texas Tech. And then Kyler went and had an ill-fated run at Texas A&M and wound up at Oklahoma winning the Heisman Trophy.
Right. But he felt comfortable enough, Skip. He felt comfortable enough
signed off.
Right. To go to, Texas A&M. He liked the school because if he didn't like the school, Skip, he would have never gone there.
Right.
Because clearly he liked the school because he knew Kingsbury was leaving. I think, didn't he leave before he actually signed the letter of intent?
It'd be close, but it'd be right in that same time period.
Well, I'd ask out. I'd have said, nah, he left. He's the reason that I came. Because I believe that was the reason why he ultimately went there, Skip, because that offense and the comfortability with Kingsbury.
I completely concur, and Johnny had such success that year.
Yeah.
Oh, that's where I want to be, right? So, again, I respect Charlie Casserly. What he uttered, those words, they can be extremely damaging.
Yes.
In any other scenario, I would be more upset. But to your bottom line point, it's not going to matter what he said because I don't think he can talk Arizona out of taking Kyler, right?
I agree.
So as long as Kyler goes one, this will only be fuel for Kyler's fire when he gets to Arizona.
Skip, I believe even if he doesn't go one, somebody's moving up to get him. He's not getting out of the top 5. He is not getting out of the top 5.
I'd be shocked, but
no way.
Yeah.
No way. If he doesn't go one, I guarantee you someone comes up and gets him at 2.
Well, if he fell to Gruden, I'm pretty sure he'd go 4 to Gruden.
He ain't falling there.
Okay.
Somebody gonna try to. I don't know. San Francisco's second.
Yeah. But my point is, if Charlie had said these things and then it somehow damaged his stock and he fell like Johnny did down into the 20s, then I would say, oh, Charlie, come on.
Well, we know that they knew that Johnny had some other issues.
No, they knew.
And they had even, with the exception of the owner, they tried to distance themselves. But when the owner says, select that gentleman, you have no choice but to go turn that card in with his name on it.
Even if the GM and the head coach said no.
They have done their homework.
Yep.
They know. Because, like I said, Skip, they don't follow, the guy was telling the story about Tampa, about Blackman at Oklahoma State. He says he followed him for about a week to 10 days.
And he was going to the bar.
Every day at 3 o'clock, he at the bar having a couple. He's like, no, we took him out the board. Because if that's what he's doing right now, so guess what?
Different situation.
As soon as practice is over, guess what he's going to do on our dime? Well, he had problems, and he hadn't played. He's been suspended indefinitely for about 4 years. So, like I said, you just have to be careful when you say these things because people hear, and it's kind of like that dog whistle, and people pick up on that, oh, he's lazy. Oh, he's not smart. Oh, he's not this. Don't do that. Don't do that. This young man doesn't deserve this. And I agree. Like I said, I watched the Dan Patrick interview, and I just felt he was unprepared. You know what Dan's going to ask you. You have a general idea. You just won the Heisman. You're going to have to make a decision. He knew the decision, but he didn't feel comfortable discussing it with Dan. It's like, look, we have made no decision at an appropriate time. My father and my team, we're going to see my family, we're going to make a decision. But he was like,
Yeah. By the way, did you see what Kyler did right before the Rich Eisen interview during Super Bowl week? They had a board set up where you throw the football through the little hole in the board, and Kurt Warner had tried to do it and had gone 3 for 10. And Kyler stepped up there in his civvies without warming up and threw 7 straight balls through that hole. And it's a little hole. And I was, you can say that's silly, but I was highly impressed. Under pressure, under fire, on TV. Pew, pew, pew.
That, Skip, should be what we are judging Kyler Murray off of. So Oklahoma's pro day is a week from today.
Yep.
We can watch him do what he does best, and let's start judging him.
I hope he runs the 40.
That.
for what?
I just want to see it. Just
So do
it's
I.
like for track meet purposes.
Tom
Just
Brady,
for fun.
look at Tom Brady. Tom Brady,
look at
what,
it.
the 8?
Whole different discussion.
Flip side.
Exactly.
Okay.
Can he throw the football?
Yep.
That is what we care about. Next up, the Celtics. Did they send a message to the rest of the NBA last night? We will discuss that and no mercy.
Hey guys, Jenny Taft here with a word from TurboTax. It's nice to have a helping hand, especially when it's tax season and that hand is attached to a licensed tax professional. With TurboTax Live, you can talk to real CPAs and EAs on demand who can review your return with you before you file and make sure you get your maximum refund. They can even check your work line by line so you can be confident it's done right. Who knew confidence and peace of mind could be synonymous with taxes? TurboTax Live with CPAs and EAs on demand. See details at TurboTax.com.
No mercy. The Celtics had lost 5 of 6 heading to Golden State last night, and before the game, Jaylen Brown called the environment around the team, quote, toxic. But they put all of that aside and handed the Warriors their worst home loss ever under Steve Kerr. Boogie Cousins was clearly frustrated, got a technical in the fourth quarter, and Gordon Hayward had one of his best games of the year with 30 points for Boston. After the game, Kyrie Irving talked about the Celtics' much-needed win. Take a listen.
Helped us out. We needed it. We needed it. It was just, we were going to get to a point where we were just going to get tired of, fighting each other, fighting in, the outside world, and it doesn't really matter. So we just want to come out here and just play basketball. This is our sanctuary, and we have to do everything to protect it. We can't let anybody infiltrate this. So it's my job to show these guys what it's like to be at that type of level on a consistent basis. And, with my attitude and with my effort and being able to give confidence to these guys, it's just as important as, me being who I'm supposed to be. So as long as my teammates are feeling good, then, we're in a good place.
Okay, Shannon, was last night more about the Celtics or Warriors?
Warriors. Skip, they're going through the motion. It was a bad night. Clay didn't play, I think, for the second or third game. He's their best on-ball defender. Kevin Durant's not going to shoot 5 for 16. This is their 5th 20-point home loss this year. In the Steve Kerr era prior to this year, they'd only had 2 such losses. I'm not overly concerned with the Warriors, Skip, because if you remember, they lost 7 of their last 10 last season. They had some injuries. Steph Curry missed some time. KD missed some time. I'm not worried about them. I still believe the biggest threat to them is the Houston Rockets. We're going to talk about that a little later. And here's what. This is the thing I'm not going to buy about the Celtics. So what am I supposed to do? Am I going to believe that Gordon Hayward is going to give me 36 and 3 on a nightly basis? Because remember, he had about 25 in his previous 5 or 6 games. So is this what I'm going to get from Gordon Hayward on a regular basis? No, I don't believe so. They're still trying to figure this thing out with Boogie Cousins. Boogie is a liability on defense, Skip, because if you look at it last night, they kept him in the pick and roll. That's all they did. He's really the only big that they have. This is why they're interested in signing Bogut. Because if Boogie gets in foul trouble, he goes to the bench. Got to bring in Kevin Looney, Joik Bell. Really? So I'm not overly concerned with them, Skip. They get Clay back, they'll be fine. Steph played okay last night, but KD had an off night. KD was 5 or 16, minus 20. Everybody was minus 20. But the concerning thing from me, Skip, and it's been getting progressively worse as the years have gone by, their bench is bad now. Their bench used to be really, really good because they could come at you with Livingston. They could come at you with Iguodala. You remember when Barbosa was there, they had the Brazilian blur. Skip, their bench was everybody minus, I said Joik Bell, Jordan Bell, minus 17, minus 26, minus 17, minus 12, minus 13. Where when they had leads, the starters would lead the game with a lead, the bench would expand on it. If the starters left with a lead, behind, the bench would come in and cut into it, maybe even have the lead when the starters return. They're not there, Skip. What am I supposed to do? I'm supposed to believe the Celtics are cured? Just earlier in the day, Jaylen Brown said the environment was toxic. So after one game, now all is forgiven, all is well. And, Gordon Hayward said, we needed that long pass, right? Well, damn, they've been driving the bus. So is this their first trip, Skip? I just need to know, is this their first time on a plane this year? They've been traveling
Fly cross country, figure out your problem.
So I guess they've been on trains and automobiles prior to taking this.
If I know this group, they didn't say a word to each other the whole flight. They all had their headphones on.
How do I go from toxic to singing Kumbaya all in 24 hours? No, Skip, this is about the Warriors. You know that. I know that.
I do know that. This is all about the Warriors. And yet, to your point, you don't have Clay last night. There's no Sean Livingston last night. There's no Kevon Looney last night. And Iggy and McKinney had injury. They're hampered by injuries and were iffy for the game. But to your point, you want to talk about an alarming trend for a defending champ? When you have 5 home losses by 20-plus, and those are Boston last night by 33, the Thunder won by 28 there. The Lakers, as we remember, it was the last we saw of the good LeBron Lakers. They won by 26 on Christmas Day. Milwaukee won by 23. These are all at Golden State. And Toronto won by 20. That's just wrong. That's bad sign. That shows you this team has a new factor in its equation, and it's a collapse factor, that when you least expect it, it will just collapse on you. It will mail it in from the tip, and it will just go south. They were trailing at halftime 73-48 at home. That's bad. And this was by far the worst home loss they had ever suffered under Steve Kerr. Bad sign. And remember, this Boston team came in off the Houston debacle loss, where they shot 8 for 28 from three-point, including 1 for 13 in the first half against Houston on Sunday. And then look what they did last night, 14-34. And Steve Kerr called out his team and said, we were jogging back on defense. And in this league, said Steve Kerr, you cannot jog. No. You have to run. You have to cut hard on offense. You have to make your cuts. And they just weren't into it. Did they not take Boston seriously enough? It's possible, but they just thought they could mail this one in and get away with it.
Are we there yet? When you've been to as many finals as they have, they won the last 2 finals. They're like, let's just get to the playoffs, and then we'll see what happens. We'll see. Yeah, we'll lose a game. Yeah, we'll lose a game here or there. But let me ask you this. And they're asking, do you believe there's another team out there that can beat us 4 times in 2 weeks? Because we don't. Draymond is not the Draymond. Maybe he's injured, Skip. But Draymond is playing awful. He's playing terrible. Maybe he has an injury. Maybe the situation where he and KD is still on his mind because KD leaves, everybody's going to blame Draymond.
I agree.
Boogie is good off. Boogie is still not healthy. I mean, that was a severe injury for a man his size. He's terrible at defense. Boogie's always played terrible at defense. So now they just keep him in the pick and roll. So what's he going to do? Is he going to show? He going to sink? What is he going to do?
I love DeMarcus, and I said before that draft he's better than John Wall, but he doesn't have defense in his DNA.
No.
It's just not in him to do it. He tries, but it's just not his thing.
No.
And that's why they desperately reached out to Australia for 37-year-old Bogut, because he will defend at a high level. He's a rim protector.
Yes.
So they're thinking, gee, we might end up being better off with Bogut going into our biggest games and certainly into the postseason.
What the stats say that they're better with Boogie off the court.
Yeah.
But he gives you so much firepower offensively. He can rebound the basketball because they're not a very good rebounding team. But you don't need to rebound the team when the ball going through the net, swishing every other shot.
You know, he might end up being icing on a cake that already had thick icing, right? Like it's already, they didn't need the scoring.
Right.
They need more toughness and rebounding.
Right.
And Draymond's not providing as much toughness in the paint as he used to.
Yeah, I just don't believe Kevin Durant's going to shoot 5 for 16 on a regular basis, go 0 for 5.
He wasn't into it. And now this team has to wonder, is he into it at all? Is he mentally checking out? Is he somewhere else? Is he here or there in his mind other than Golden State?
Well, how many more times, Skip, they have 17, 18 games? How many more games? Okay, they're 44, and okay, they got 18 games, 44 and 20. How many more games you think this year of the 18 they will shoot 40% from the field and 23% from the three-point line?
Well, they live and die from that three-point line. And as you said, 23%, they'll probably lose those games.
If you let the team shoot 41%.
Yep.
Yeah, you're going to lose. You let their team shoot 51% from the floor, yeah, you're going to lose.
Yep.
Absolutely going to lose.
And by the way, I thought Kevin Durant took a little shot back at Steve Kerr, because Kerr had a quote after the game. It starts with a passion and anger and intensity, and it wasn't there tonight. Like he's saying, winning basketball at this level takes passion, anger, and intensity. And Kevin fired back that, I'm paraphrasing his quote, but he said, I thought it was about joy, because the buzzword from Kerr has always been, we have to play with joy.
Right.
So he says, now we're supposed to play with anger? Well, maybe Kevin's saying, I'm getting tired. His speeches are wearing out for me.
Right.
I'm not listening. I'm not hearing what he's saying anymore, right?
And the Celtics bench were unbelievable. They got 64 points. Now, their bench is 10th in scoring. You going to get this on a nightly basis, Skip? Now, if you tell me this is what it's going to be, okay, I don't even need 30. If you're going to tell me Gordon Hayward's going to give me, say, 15 consistently off the bench, okay, then I might, okay, Celtics might be for real. Jaylen Brown has been pretty good all year. He just believes he's a starter. I mean, did y'all see what I did last year, that last stretch, and in the playoffs? I need to be starting more. But no, this is all Golden State. They're like, are we there yet? Wake me up when the playoffs start.
Yeah, Gordon Hayward scored more points last night than he did in the previous 5 games combined.
Yes.
Ooh.
And then he did a soul-searching interview with Jackie McMullen, which was up on ESPN.com yesterday. And I think it's like an unburdening, like a release of all your innermost demons and thoughts. I'm just not a fan, but I wasn't before the draft.
Right.
I just didn't love him, and I was astounded at the money that Boston threw at him, because everybody was.
I was shocked.
Yeah.
But here's the thing, though, Skip. Boston had to throw that money. They wanted him.
Miami, a lot of people wanted him.
Utah wanted him.
Yeah.
I agree with you. I just don't see. At the 3 position, he's probably the 10th, maybe 12th now. Yeah. And after the injury, might not even be top 15.
I wouldn't
He
even.
way down there. Because you got to go past a lot of threes from Paul George to LeBron to KD to Kawhi before you even think about reaching him.
Yep. Can he give you this once in a blue moon? Maybe a blue moon.
Is that a rare
maybe
sort of
green
yeah,
moon.
exactly. I was going to say blues happen to color, blue moon, that's a song. Wasn't that a song, Skip? I mean, you would know about that old.
Yeah, I could.
No, I don't go back as far.
Yeah, you do.
I
Blue
don't.
Moon. I know that song even. It was in Greece.
Yeah, you strike me as a.
I know
strike me as an
Grease.
Elvis Presley. Fan.
No, I am not.
Now I'm
strike
the
him.
one who
I'm
knows
not.
music around
You're
here.
the country
That's a
fan.
first.
I'm not.
No.
That is a
I'm from
first.
the country. I'm not a country
I don't
fan.
like country music.
You know. once in a while. It depends what you're doing, but it can be.
No mercy.
Well, it's too bad the Lakers don't have a long commute to figure out some of their issues before their home game tonight. They are trying to keep their slim playoff hopes alive tonight against the Nuggets. LA has lost 3 in a row and are 5.5 games out of a playoff spot. But despite all the negatives, LeBron is only 13 points away from passing Michael Jordan for 4th place on the all-time scoring list. So, Shannon, what do you expect from your guy LeBron tonight?
27, 8, and 8. But the thing about what I did, I yawned.
Yeah, I saw that. Oh, that is really weird.
How about that?
You guys were really on
I was
with
one
numbers.
rebound off. I had
One
27,
off.
9, and 8.
Are you guys talking before the show now? I don't know about this.
No.
That's interesting.
I mean, let that sink in, Skip.
These are roll out of bed numbers.
I was going to say,
yawned.
yeah, they're.
Yeah.
Look, I don't really see a change in his mentality with so much was on the line Saturday night, so much was on the line Monday night. I did not see the shift that I need, or Tuesday night whenever they played the Clippers. Monday night. I didn't see the shift that I needed to see. So I just don't see it now. And plus, they're already talking about minutes. So I don't know if he's going to play, 36, 37, 40 minutes like he's been playing over the last 8 ball games.
Probably not.
So with that, Skip, look, I don't think I would have thought he'd have been in hardened mode a lot sooner. It's hard for me to imagine now where they got a 0.001% chance of making the playoffs. I thought he would have been in that mode because he said he's going to activate and he was going to go into a mode a lot earlier. So I thought he would be in that mode earlier. Okay, Kuzma's out. We know he's out. Ingram, questionable. He could possibly be out. Tyson Chandler could possibly be out. Lance Stevenson could possibly be out. At some point in time, Skip, you just run out of bodies. And the team just looks lifeless. They're not responding to Luke. His rotations, they blow. They're not very good, and he doesn't seem to get it right. And Jokic, we saw what Ayton did. Gallinari, Harrell had their way. What are they gonna do with Joker? What are they gonna do with him, Skip? So LeBron gonna get that record in the first quarter.
Yep.
So you can't come in here tomorrow and tell me, oh, he got it. They were down by 42. We're going to get it with a game close. So I don't have to hear your mouth tomorrow.
So he's going to get 13 in the first quarter?
Probably by fitting.
In the first.
Fitting. Okay. Or he might just sit at 13, right? He might just say, I'm done. I'm out.
Nope.
Deuces, as you say.
No.
You know what? He might just walk right up the tunnel to the locker room.
Don't do that.
Right?
Don't do that, Skip.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
But Michael Jordan will get got. Well, first of all, Skip,
He will get got.
Michael Jordan been got long time ago. Okay, you know what? We're going to let Michael be the GOAT because we're a bighorn. We're a bighorn sheep. That's a better GOAT. Yeah, you know the one that, boom.
I know him well.
Yeah, that's what we are.
Can you do that again?
So Mike, you want Michael to be the GOAT? Go ahead. Goats can't climb high up in the mountains.
Really?
Nope. We can go places that old Mike couldn't go. Can't we, Skip?
I have a great story about bighorn sheep, but it would take too long to tell. Ernestine is laughing right now if she's watching.
Really?
She knows the bighorn sheep story where we saw them out on a golf course one time in Palm
this
Springs.
story.
Bighorn sheep.
How they get down there?
I don't know, but the whole flock came down, and she was riding with me, and I was by myself playing golf.
Yeah.
And it was like 117 degrees.
Yes.
And about 12 of them came down the mountainside onto my green a par 3 I was about to hit to from an elevated tee. And 2 of them began to mate on my green. That's a true story.
Why don't you
true
give him
story.
some water?
I wasn't
And
expecting that.
I yelled at him. And
What'd you yell at him for?
I wasn't happy with my game at that point. I said, get off my green. I said, I'm just going to hit.
Your
I'm just
green-
going to hit. And I had to yell 4 at the
No.
what are they called? Bighorn
Bighorn
sheep.
sheep.
I had to yell 4 because they were mating, and I thought my ball was going to hit the
First of all,
guy
Skip
on
Bayless,
top.
you were in their bedroom.
I was.
You looking at it as a golf course, not their bedroom.
took my green. It was number 17
Hey,
at the
bring us back to the story, or I wasn't expecting that turn.
Sorry, number 17
Wasn't
at the
expecting
Arnold
that.
Palmer course, Palm Springs. Check it out. It's
Yeah, if you want to see,
Yeah.
if you want to see Bighorn Sheep, maybe.
Or don't check it out.
They made it on my green. That's a true story. And we were so afraid of them, we checked out and we went backwards in the cart to like 16, 15 and around to escape. We called the clubhouse and they said, don't mess with them.
No, don't mess with
Do
them.
not mess with them.
That's why LeBron a Bighorn Sheep.
Okay.
Don't
And
mess
we're
with
back to
him.
LeBron.
Thank you. You know, the basketball gods love LeBron.
Why?
Because they have given him such a huge break, right on schedule. It's like it was meant to be. LeBron James and his Lakers crater. They crumble. It is an all-time eyesore embarrassment. Laker Nation is ashamed. And all of a sudden, right on cue, a number of things are happening.
Like,
Players are getting hurt, which helps the cause for LeBron because it gives excuses everywhere. But all of a sudden, Brandon Ingram checks out. I don't know what he's doing. Lonzo is checked completely out for the year. It sounds like Kuzma's gone for at least a week. And now you go down the list, Tyson and Lance and blah, blah, blah. And Luke is gone. And so everybody's saying, LeBron has no help because he doesn't even have any players. And most of all tonight, you know and I know what's about to happen. It doesn't matter about 27, 9, and 8. It matters about, I think it'll be early second quarter, 13 is the magic number. This has been a unlucky 13 of a season for the Lakers, but it's going to be a lucky 13th point for LeBron James tonight because the confetti will fall from the rafters. Yeah, they're going to do that. Confetti will fall, and everybody will sit back and say, that's it. It's over. He passed Michael Jordan. It only took him 117 more
it's
games.
been over. Stop saying
117 more games than Michael took to get to this point. I don't know.
And
but
Michael still shot the ball more.
Okay, well, whatever. But again, then it will allow LeBron and his social media team to go right to the locker room after the game and post this giant Instagram picture photoshopped of LeBron soaring above Michael Jordan. Just watch. It will happen.
We don't do that, Skip. We're not petty like that.
And then the post will start off with, I have no words, and then it'll be 500 more words about how great I am and how this clinches it. I can't help it. I think this proves that I'm better than Jordan.
No.
I'm the greatest player ever. You know this is coming tonight.
The caption might read, I can't believe that a small-town kid from Akron gets to live out his dream.
Yeah.
And now it's confirmed what everybody know. I'm a Bighorn Sheep.
Okay. So the final score will be Denver 119, Los Angeles 95.
What?
And nobody will remember because it will be all about LeBron past Jordan. And the blind witnesses, and you know there are billions of those out there because you are the leader of the blind witnesses, they will leap to the conclusion, that's it. This clinches it. He's better than MJ, correct?
I bet, Skip, not only did I leap, I've already landed, but that was years ago when I came to that conclusion.
This team is 30-34 with LeBron James on it. And I know he missed, 18 games. But this is LeBron James missing the playoffs. Welcome to the West.
Not a good look.
Welcome to the West.
Skip, I will give you that.
All right.
It's not a good look.
It's not a good look. But again, you want to talk about lipstick on the pig, man. Tonight, this is all lipstick.
Well,
right?
or to call Adam Silver, not only lipstick, earrings too.
Earring. I said put an earring on the pig. Put 2 earrings.
Yes.
Put necklaces. Put ice up the pig, man.
Skip, look, the season has not turned out how we envisioned it.
No, it has not.
But that does not. So now we're going to diminish. So I love how we're going to take this because LeBron James did not make the playoff to diminish LeBron's legacy. But we ain't going to say nothing about Jordan missing the playoffs last 2 years. We ain't going to say nothing about that. Oh, that didn't matter. Does it matter or does it not?
He got run out of Chicago by his owner and general manager.
Well, so why would they do that to the GOAT?
He quit because they were running Phil Jackson out of town. So he said, I'm with my coach. I quit.
Well, prove that you can do it without Phil. If you the GOAT.
He took 3 years off, not 1 or 2. He took 3 years off, and at age 38, he came back in Washington for a little cameo, and he was not in condition because he smoked too many cigars and he drank too much, not just wine, but, you know.
That dog, he on that yak.
Yeah.
He on that O'Brien liquor, Jenny.
All right. And he did not look like himself, and he still averaged 20-6, I think it was.
I just want to know, did that Washington stint do anything to damage Michael Jordan's legacy for not making the playoff?
Nope.
And if not, why?
Because I just explained.
No.
Age 38, 39, everybody knew he had already gone 6 for 6 in the finals with 6 MVPs. He had earned the right to go do that
No.
for fun.
No.
Had LeBron earned the right to not join a super team, but just to join Hollywood? Well, apparently he joined Hollywood.
Let me ask you a question. If he didn't go to the Lakers and he didn't stay in Cleveland, where would you have preferred him to go? Golden State?
Philly. I mean, if you want to max it out, stay in the East and go to Philly, then you'd super team up, man, right?
Well, you go super team.
Embiid, Simmons. They probably wouldn't have Jimmy Buckets, but
Or Tobias Harris.
okay. All right, but that'd be enough with LeBron and those two, right?
Look,
They'd be fine.
I get it, Skip. Everybody would love to break a record. I remember when I broke Ozzy's record for career receptions, Cleveland beat the brakes off us when I was in Baltimore. Peyton Manning, remember when he broke the all-time record for passing yards? I think he was like one for like 7 or 8 for 5 yards. And they got the brakes beat off him, and he ended up losing his job until later in the season. Everybody's not going to be able to break a record, have an outstanding game, and they win the game. So stop with that notion.
Well, Brady set the all-time playoff record for passing yards with 505, and unfortunately his coach gave up 41 points.
Did you see what he did right there? But you ain't mentioned up by the coach.
I know, but are you saying Brady stunk it up that day? Because he maxed out. I don't think he could ever play better than 505.
Okay, what about that 3 points he gave up in last Super Bowl? Did Tom Brady max out?
3 points?
The 3 points that the defense gave up like a month ago.
Who made the throw of the game to win the game?
You gonna talk about really Skip Bayless?
Well, he did.
Skip, at that point, they was already up 6-3. So the game was already
up
won.
6-3?
Yes, they were. Because they ended up scoring a touchdown. Yes, stop it.
No.
Skip, why are you doing that?
No, I'm just saying he should have been the MVP of this Super Bowl. So he bounced back from a great day with an L to an average day for him with the dub.
It was below average. But that's what I'm saying, Skip. You think that. Look, I understand that LeBron is playing in Hollywood, but everything doesn't always get scripted that way. You don't always get to go score 55, win the game, break the record, and a partridge in a pear tree. That doesn't always happen that way. Sometimes you get that. Sometimes you get a guy hitting a shot. I mean, it would have been great if Mike had just stayed away after that shot because, you always tell Jenny, I only have one piece of memorabilia. It's from the far end.
It's the only thing
I want that shot.
Do it again. Hold that pose.
I ain't doing nothing.
Hold it.
I'll tell you what I will do.
Hold it.
Him walking off the court after getting the brakes beat off of him in Washington. You got that picture?
Nobody even noticed.
Oh, I know. Shay Sharp, no.
Nobody
Because it just so happened.
Nobody cared.
Don't do that, Skip.
He had earned it.
No, you don't get Skip. Hold
LeBron
on.
hasn't earned this. He's 3-6 in the finals.
The man with the last 8 finals.
You want to talk about script writers in Hollywood? They wrote the perfect script for LeBron
what, Skip? You need to stop. You need to stop,
This is
Skip.
perfect.
It's not perfect.
Yeah, wait until we come in here. You will goat mask me tomorrow morning.
I won't.
Yes, you
No, I
will.
won't.
Am I right?
No,
I'm
no,
predicting
I won't.
I mean, at this
goat
point,
mask.
The only
We see
way
a lot
he
of
get a
goals.
goal back, he might drop. If he drop 50,
You know what? You need to get a ram mask. With
I'm
the
gonna find me a big horse. I'm gonna find me a big
you know?
horse sheep back.
We don't need to go to
The ram
stories
mascot
again.
is a bighorn sheep, I think, right?
Yeah. That's what LeBron got.
All right. Well, we'll have to see. Let's just get this game
Might
going.
drop 50.
Let's see what he does first before we talk about
I
celebration.
don't know if he got 50. I don't know if he got 50 in him.
All right.
Yeah, he got 50. Ask Miami, do he got 50 in him?
13 in him. That's all he needs.
Well, his
That's the first
playoff
quarter.
hopes, though, are in tough shape, but the Warriors not so much. Should they be scared of the Rockets in the West? We'll discuss that next.
No mercy.
The Rockets are red hot right now. They won their 6th straight last night on the road in Toronto. James Harden was doing, typical James Harden things, scoring 35 points in the win. The Rockets are now 5 games behind the Warriors in the West, but they've won all 3 of their games this year against Golden State. So, Shannon, how big of a threat is Houston to Golden State?
Not only are they a big threat, I believe they're the only threat. But a lot that's contingent, Skip, on Chris Paul's health. And we know a lot of times, come playoff time, Chris Paul is not healthy. Hopefully, he's gotten that injury bug past him because it happened early in the season. Skip, James Harden, he's unguardable right now. I was talking to Steve, and I'm like, man, they're winning this game.
Who's
And
Steve?
Steve Owens, my chief researcher.
Oh,
Chief research.
wait, you mean Sean McVay?
No.
He's your Sean McVay, right?
No, he's not. No,
He
he's
calls
not.
all your plays?
He does no talking in my ear.
You're Jared Goff.
You promoted him?
Yeah.
Anyway, I was talking. I was like, Steve, they're winning this game by double figures, and James Harden has 16 points. I look back up with 14 seconds. James Harden has 35. I'm like, what happened? And then I look in the fourth quarter, James Harden goes bonkers for 19. Skip, he's unguardable. Because if you hit Kawhi Leonard up and Siakam for 35, great. Yeah, we know Kawhi is a top 2 on-ball defender. He hit Paul George up for 42 and 41 the last 2 times they played. Paul George, Kawhi, the best 2 on-ball, two-way players going in the NBA right now. They've also have other guys that can defend. Chris Paul can defend. Tucker can defend. Tucker can really, really defend. Capella can defend. They switch a lot. And then they're getting great production, Skip. Gerald Green, Doc Son, Austin Rivers doing a great job. Kenneth Faried, that was on the scrap heap in Brooklyn. He's been a monster, giving you basically a double-double every night.
He was out last night.
He was out last night. Eric Gordon, he can defend well enough, but he'll light you up from the three-point line. Skip, to beat Toronto in Toronto, who were 27-6 going into that game last night, and in the fashion by double figures, and you mentioned, and Jenny had to read, that they've done what they've done to Golden State, they're serious. They're serious. The question is, Chris Paul help, and can James Harden be even close? Because he going to get 30. There ain't no way because he's going to shoot the ball well enough and you're going to foul him. They're the only threat. Not are they a threat, they're the only threat.
I'm going to go one step further. I'm starting to like their chances. Seriously. I think this could be their year. Listen, I told you the MVP race was fluid from night to night. I didn't predict it before the year, so I'm just sitting, eye testing night after night. And for a while, Paul George made a run.
Yes, he did.
And then he got hurt. And then he went a little cold, and he stayed cold on his return last night at Minnesota, and they lost. Thanks to Karl Anthony Towns, 41-14. But
He
Paul,
cooked Steven Adams.
Yeah, and Paul got cooked by Minnesota, so he's falling back. All of a sudden, I look up, and James Harden is pulling away in the MVP race. And I tweeted this on Sunday while they were playing at Boston. He looks like an alien to me now who's he's toying with the humans who guard him 2 at a time. He's just toying with them. They can't. Last night, Toronto was all over him. Sometimes 3 would run at him.
Yes.
And it just wouldn't matter. He would be patient, take his time, keep his dribble, and then he would snake up through them, under them, and find a way to create a shot. And what I saw in the fourth quarter at Toronto, not an easy place to win.
No.
I saw for one of the first times from James Harden, I saw a cold-blooded killer that I haven't seen before. I don't love him. I don't trust him when the stakes are the highest, and I still got to see it in the postseason. But he's looking different to me. He's looking like a guy who has finally figured it completely out, and he's playing with guts now. He's not second-guessing. He's not doubting.
Right.
I don't see any doubt left in him.
Right. Skip, going into the fourth quarter, he's 6 of 23. He comes out and goes in the fourth quarter. Now he's in the fourth quarter. He's 6 of 7.
And made both his threes.
So you go, I mean, he has 16 points through 3 quarters on 6 of 23 shooting. He ends with 35 on 6 of 7 shooting for 19 in the fourth quarter alone. Skip, you can't. What makes his shot so unstoppable, Skip? Not only is he stepping back, because we've seen guys shoot the step back, but what he's doing, he's stepping back and stepping to the side. So how do you do that? If you try to, because you can't guess if he'll shoot the step back, boom, but then he take like 3 steps, shuffle.
Yep. He does everything so nonchalantly, and it seems effortless, and he doesn't seem that quick to me, but it's quick.
Yes.
Because the release is quick. He's getting it away with hands everywhere.
He got handles, Skip.
Yep.
And he slide to the left 2 times. Wah.
And now he's got that floater down cold, man.
Yeah.
He just floats in the lane, and it's not – listen, on the dead run, to be able to just sort of float it from 5 feet and swish it.
No spin, the ball just like dead. It's like just dead.
Yeah.
And he has, I mean, we talk Kyrie, and Kyrie has the best handles that I've ever seen. Rod Strickland had. You remember Rod Strickland? He had handles too. Isaiah could pat the rock. But James Harden, for a guy as big as he is,
he's 6'5".
But you know what, Skip? It's that left hand. We had never seen a guy that can do what he's doing left. Most of the great scorers, all of them been right-handed. But he's left. It's something about left-handed. Left-handed boxers, left-handed tennis players, left-handed pitchers. It doesn't matter, Skip. You got that.
It's me.
Oh, so that explains it.
Like, not even hiding it.
If you can go get 35 against Kawhi, if you can get 42 and 41 against Paul George, Skip, ain't nobody got no chance against you.
And listen, shout out to our man Austin Rivers, Doc's kid.
Yes.
What a great pickup he's been.
Yes.
He made 3 or 4 threes. He does this on a nightly basis.
Gerald Green.
Yeah, you can make those threes. And Capella plays as hard as anybody in the league this side of Patrick Beverly.
Yeah.
But he's Patrick Beverly on the backboards.
Skip, I watched him last night because I watched, especially to the half. Capella will get the ball. He'll pass it to James Harden or Chris Paul, and he's on a dead sprint to the front of the rim.
He does.
You better get on your horses because if you don't, he's going to get a lob dunk or they're going to pass it to him and he's going to dunk it on you anyway.
Yep.
I mean, he's sprinting to the other end of the court. He does that.
He does.
Because he's a monster on the board. He's really the only the true rebounder that they have. And so he's wiping it up. Skip, they're going to be the deal with. If Chris Paul can stay healthy, that's going to be key.
Yep.
Because we haven't seen him really stay healthy come playoff time. I believe this is the year. And everybody says, well, I want to see James Harden do it in big moments. I believe this is the year, Skip. He's playing with supreme confidence.
So, enough positivity about last night. Now for some objectivity.
Okay.
Toronto's going to have a hard time when its new star, number 2, decides to play on an every other nightly basis. And I was impressed last night. He decided to play against the Houston Rockets.
Why wouldn't he?
Because a lot of times he doesn't. He hit this lucky shot against Portland.
And that wasn't lucky, Skip. Don't do that.
All around the rim. I don't know how it sucked in, but it fell in. And he hit the game winner. I immediately tweeted, watch what comes next. He's going to take the next game off.
You know that.
Number 2 took the next game off.
You know he don't play back-to-back. You know he don't play back-to-backs?
Like,
He has now missed 18 of their 65 games. Think about that.
Yeah.
That's 28% of their games.
I get all that.
28%. He just says, I'm out tonight.
I get all that.
Sorry,
That's weird.
I'm out.
You know he doesn't play back-to-backs. Now, next year's going to be a different
Yeah,
story.
but sometimes he just doesn't play for whatever reason. He just doesn't
Load
feel
management.
like it.
Load
management.
management.
Load management.
Yeah. Skip that thigh. That tenosis.
Still lingering?
Tendinosis.
Yes. Quad tendinosis.
Yeah. It's called thigh bruise.
He don't want it to come back.
He's had a thigh bruise that has lingered since early last season.
And
you believe in that?
You know, I'm good.
You ever heard of that in your life?
No.
You know, Skip, I'm good friends with a very renowned orthopedic, Dr. Neil Elatrosh. And he told me this thing could be reoccurring. Yep.
Is that a real doctor?
It's a real doctor, but we ain't friends.
Okay.
I just know him.
Okay.
So, Skip.
It's a thigh bruise.
No, it ain't.
Yep.
But you know what? You saying that right now. But just imagine where y'all would be if y'all had old Kawhi. I guarantee y'all wouldn't be in the 8th spot.
We've won 3 straight at home. We're just sitting pretty.
But y'all, Skip, you're gonna get swept in the first round.
Maybe not. You never
Maybe
know.
so. I know. Yeah, I know so. Oh, y'all gonna take a game from Golden State.
No, maybe we'll move up to 7. Who knows?
I know.
Maybe we'll get Denver in the first round and shock them.
I know.
We beat them the other night.
I know you would be in a better place had you had.
Maybe he would drag us
Dose.
down. Well, he would be there, but he really wouldn't be
Yeah, he
there
would,
because he would be sitting out.
Y'all didn't treat him fair. You know how you got to treat. You got to pamper superstars.
gotta pamper.
Got to baby him.
Yeah.
Let him know everything's gonna be all right.
He used to be something, man.
What?
What you mean used to be?
He used to be the best two-way player in
You
basketball.
got to pamper him.
Yeah.
Yep. Hire somebody that's gonna braid his hair every day and take it out. Yep. That's what you got to do.
Well,
and y'all weren't willing to do that.
He the North.
Toronto promised it.
He the North, and he got shown up last night at home.
Oh, look, James Harden done that to everybody.
Well, I'm just saying that's a home game. You should be. Wait, you're the best two-way player. You should be able to defend James Harden.
Stop.
He used to be able to.
No.
Back in the day.
First of all, when James Harden when a guy gets it cooking like this, and James Harden been cooking like this for basically the last 3 years, you can't stop that, Skip. You know it. Now stop that. That's blasphemy. What you trying to do to Kawhi.
Blasphemy. What he did to us last year was all-time blasphemy.
No, it ain't, Skip.
He will live in infamy in San Antonio. Infamy.
I mean, he might. What if he want to come back next year?
He will not want to come.
Well, he might.
Well, they wouldn't have him.
Yes, they would.
Percentage, Skip, of the games he's played?
28%. He's missed 28%.
28%. What if you just decided you were
games.
going to come every so often? when you're feeling a little
I mean,
tired.
if I had vocal cord issues, that might be a possibility.
That number is shocking to me.
Thank you.
Jenny. don't
Thank
do
you.
It is.
You're not a Hallmark card.
Okay,
You're more like
something
a Spencer's
else
card.
that is a little
Two.
shocking is LeBron's legacy about to take a
You know
big
what's
hit. We'll discuss that with Stephen Jackson next.
No mercy.
The Lakers will try to keep their slim playoff hopes alive tonight at home against the Nuggets. LA has lost 3 in a row and are 5.5 games out of a playoff spot. The losses have put LeBron's streak of 13 straight seasons with a playoff appearance in major jeopardy. We're joined by FS1 NBA analyst Stephen Jackson. All right, good to have you with us. But Shannon,
Yes.
I'm going to go to you first. How would missing the playoffs affect LeBron's legacy?
Wouldn't affect it at all to me. I mean,
A little?
no. I love how we do everything we possibly can to excuse Jordan not making the playoff in his final 2 years. And I get it. Everybody say, well, Magic never missed the playoffs. Well, Magic never played with less than 3 Hall of Famers. Bird never missed the playoffs. He never played with less than 4 Hall of Famers. Tell me the guy on the roster currently that's going to be all NBA moving forward. Tell me the guy that's on the roster right now that's going to be in the Hall of Fame. And I just wait. Oh, yeah, that many. Look, I get it.
On which roster?
On the Lakers
Lakers
roster.
right now?
Right now.
Rondo.
Wander, I was going to say
You
Rondo.
think Rondo will go to the Hall of Fame?
Possibly.
Yeah.
If you see the people, some people that's in the Hall of Fame,
Yeah.
they definitely deserve it.
But when those guys were playing
Hey,
with...
those kids, who knows what they might do?
just the
They
beginning.
might take
early.
off.
Let me ask you a question.
It's early.
What can I do you? Where would you rank Kareem? What do you say Kareem? You think Kareem
Me?
is okay? Yeah. You think Kareem
top
okay?
Top three to me.
Top 3.
Guess who played with, who he played with? Magic. So you can understand why they would make James Worthy. Is he in the Hall of Fame? What about McAdoo? What about McHale, Parrish, Dennis Johnson, Nate Archibald, Bill Walton? Come on, Skip Bayless. You ought to be ashamed of yourself.
I didn't say a word yet. I haven't even spoken.
Because the fact,
Can you name one player Michael played with at Washington?
exactly.
Not one.
But I can name old Scottie Pippen and Dennis Rodman. You know Dennis Rodman led the league in rebounding all 3 years he was in Chicago?
And your point is?
The point is he had Hall of Famers. And when he
Okay.
didn't have a Hall of Famer, guess where he was?
He was 38 and 39. He'd been off for 3 years. He'd been gone from basketball.
Even at that age, he still wasn't in year 16. That was year 13, year 14. LeBron James is in year 16 with 8 straight finals on his resume, sprinkling a couple of Olympics, and here we are. Still giving you 27, 8, and 8. Can I answer you?
I'm glad you yawned because those are roll out of bed
Yeah,
numbers
but-
for LeBron.
Right.
That's what he does. He just rolls. He yawns and rolls out of bed and he goes 27, 8, and
Am
8.
I surprised they're not in the playoffs? I thought the Lakers would be better. I really thought the Lakers would be better. But then the injury bug started. It hit him. It hit Rondo. It hit Lonzo. And now Kuzma. And now Ingram. And now Stevenson. And now Chandler. Yeah, come on. But when we look at it, Stack, this is not a really good team now.
Not a good team at all. And no, people shouldn't be upset that they didn't make the playoffs. I mean, I think if anybody had a rude awakening, it's LeBron, because everybody was telling him the Western Conference is a different monster. Now, experience is the best teacher, and he's saying it's a different monster. But at the same time, guys that know the game, we knew it was a possibility that they'll be in this situation, you know, with the young team they have. But I'm going to say this, and I'm going to leave it alone. Keep that same energy, because the Lakers won't be the same team next year.
Okay.
Keep it.
So, does it taint his legacy that he missed the
Not at
playoffs?
all.
Well, obviously, Kobe did miss the playoffs the year after Shaq was run out of town by Kobe, right?
Okay.
So let's look at Kobe's teammates in that year they missed the playoffs. They went 34 and 48.
Right.
Not good.
Right.
Okay. Caron Butler was the second scorer. Lamar Odom was on that team, third scorer. You remember the immortal Chucky Atkins, Chris Mim, Jermaine Jones, Devin George. That's what you got to work with. Not a great team. A team that I would have looked at before the year and said, I don't know. That's in the West.
They'll play hard, but yeah.
I'm not sure about that. Then they bounced back, and they did make the playoffs the next 2 years, but they went out quickly and unceremoniously to the Phoenix Suns in the first round.
What?
Yeah.
You better tell me Kobe lost in the first
And
round?
he had one pout game where he just,
We didn't shoot the ball?
yeah, people were all over him. He was
So
shooting
he had
too
a lot
much,
of-
so he said, today I'm not going to
So you know what, Stacks? He had a lot in common with Michael Jordan. Because you know Michael Jordan went out in the first round. He went out in the first round. When the old bad boy, the big 3. Wawa, get up out of here. Wawa, get up out of here.
Are you talking about the same guy who went 6-0 in the finals with 6 MVPs in the finals?
Hold on.
He can't be.
Oh, yes, I'm talking about him.
that
I'm talking
guy?
about the one that the bad boy Pistons. The bad boy Pistons had him back there crying.
You know, I
had
think-
Scottie Pippen talking about he got a migraine, didn't want to see Robin in my horn. Huh?
I think they're turning down your lights.
Yeah.
They're silencing you. They're
You know
What
silencing you.
God said, turn the lights off.
Talk about that, Skip.
Yep.
Talk about that. How the bad boy Pistol put him over his knee for 3 years. Wop, wop, wop. Now come back next year with a little more firepower. Wop, wop, wop.
Interesting.
Did it happen? You was covering the team. I want to know, Skip Bayless. Tell the truth now.
So the only way this taints LeBron's legacy is it just completely undercuts and disqualifies your argument that he's greater than Michael Jordan. That's all it does. Because at age 34, which is LeBron's age right now, Michael Jordan won another scoring title and was first team all defense at age 34. And obviously they went on to win another championship, their sixth, and another finals MVP, his sixth.
Skip,
Okay,
we got to
that's what
stop.
he did
Shannon.
at
We gotta
34.
stop.
But here's the thing. Let
That's
me-
34 to 34.
But here's the thing. Michael Jordan, Scottie Pippen led the team in assists all those years. Someone else led the team in rebounding all those years. Jordan didn't have to worry about all these other things that LeBron did. But I still want to know why. Washington, he went to the Wizards. Why does that not have an impact on his legacy? He was still Michael Jordan. That's what you tell me. He the GOAT. Now, the GOAT's supposed to drag anything. GOATs eat anything. So why couldn't he get it there? But this old bighorn sheep, watch what he be doing in year. And think about, hold on, Skip. You keep telling me when he was in Washington, that was year 13 and 14. LeBron James is in year 16. LeBron James, year 13 and 14, NBA Finals.
Age 38 and 39 in Washington.
What got that to do with anything if he's the guy that you said he is?
But what player that's the face of the league won MVP and defensive player? of the year?
That is it. Do you know LeBron?
That's hard to do, Shannon.
LeBron James should have won
He gotta
MVP.
play defense first.
Hold on. The year Mark Gasol won it, you know LeBron's supposed to have got that award stacked.
Right?
Man, no.
Did LeBron not bring this year upon himself? Because we still hear that he was the one who wanted playmakers, not shooters.
I don't
right?
know what LeBron out of his mind.
Okay, he was out of his mind, but that's what he wanted. He give him a Rondo, give him a Lance.
No.
Who else can make plays? I don't know.
If you look at LeBron James' career, LeBron James has really played with two playmakers. That's Kyrie Irving and Dwayne Wade. And even when he had those guys, what was he surrounded with? Shooters.
Yeah,
Okay.
sure.
So now all of a sudden you will get year 16 and talking about you don't want shooters, you want playmakers?
Okay.
Okay, where are they? Where are the playmakers?
Okay. So, I don't know.
He told me he wanted playmakers.
Yeah, Michael
Rondo, the only
Beasley's
one.
in China, I think, right?
I talked to him yesterday.
Did you really?
Yeah, yeah.
Is he all right?
Yeah, he's doing good.
Good.
He's doing
Shout
He's
out
doing
to
good.
Michael
Shout out to
Beasley.
Mike
I love
Beasley.
Michael Beasley.
I mean, where are
Okay.
the playmakers, Skip?
Okay, so a year ago, not even a year ago, but in the offseason, LeBron had chances. He could have gone to Philly and joined forces with that team. Great things would have happened. He could have gone to Houston, joined forces with that team. Great things would have happened. He joined forces with Hollywood. He wanted Hollywood, and he got Hollywood. And I was shocked the day it happened because I said, he's going to do this without a bona fide co-star, like a second scorer. Like, really? You're going to do that? Well, I guess he's going to do that. And then he brought some of this on himself because obviously at the trade deadline, he and Rich Paul attempted to power play their way into Anthony Davis. And they were willing to trade all the kids, clean out the locker room, all the kids.
Yeah.
And it just detonated that locker room. It never
They
was
couldn't
the
handle
same.
it. They couldn't handle that.
Yep. Okay. So is
know
that
what?
is that on LeBron? A little
No.
bit. Yeah, a little bit's on LeBron. And then the way it happened this year, he is to the point where he just doesn't want to play defense. And you say he has to sort of conserve his energy on defense.
Yeah, he
Okay.
does.
No
Okay,
such
fine.
thing, Skip.
Okay.
No such thing.
Do you play defense in Big Three? Yes, you do.
Yeah.
Have you always played defense? It was your calling card.
Yes.
That's half court stacks.
Come on.
Huh?
That's half court.
You play
big three.
defense, man.
But I played defense in the league. I played on both ends. I started the two-way player stuff.
Listen, what I need you to tell you what. I need you to play two ways, but I need you to give me 27, 8, and 8.
You're right. You're right. It ain't easy as it look.
Okay. So LeBron, much of this year, has played that one-man zone. He just goes and stands under the basket and looks as he watches. And he won't even contest. He won't help. And I'm like, come on, LeBron, set a tone, because the kids aren't going to play defense if you don't set any tone on defense.
True. It's hard.
And they were a bad defensive team, and it killed them in the end. It's killed them for the last 5 or 6 games because they play no defense.
That's what happens when you don't play defense and you allow the Milwaukee to go on a 15-2 run to close out the game, and you lose by 10.
What you need to do, Luke, is in the film sessions, make sure you point out LeBron is not doing what he's supposed to do in all those film sessions, but I'm sure he's not doing
I don't think they're doing that.
But here's the thing. There's only a handful of coaches that can do that.
Greg
Popovich, Pat Riley, some of the all-time greats.
Why Luke can't do it? You the coach.
You know good well no.
To, but he can't.
I'm not Greg Popovich. If I was a coach, I would do it, and LeBron deal with it.
Let me ask you a question. How long you think you'll hold that job after?
It ain't about that. It's about me doing my job.
And guess what? You want to have a job to do, right?
I'm not worried about that. If I get fired doing my job, I can live with it.
Okay. You know how it works, Stack.
I know how it works now. I know. I'm talking to you, but I know how it works.
This is a real for player league. Now in the NFL, Skip, you know you can do that. Coaches call.
Yeah.
Bill Belichick has been very well documented. He's gonna call out everybody. It doesn't matter.
I got it. My other issue with LeBron just this year is lack of leadership, because there were years in Cleveland he wasn't a good leader, he was a great leader. When they came back from 3-1 down, he led that team.
Right.
He was the driving force, and Kyrie got to go along for the ride, even though Kyrie was the closer. He was not the leader. The alpha was LeBron.
Right.
This year, for whatever reason, LeBron checked out on this team. He just didn't love it from the start, and he distanced himself from the kids. Like, don't associate me with them. He wanted to sit at the very end of the bench.
I think the biggest mistake a guy can make, Skip, is that you have a leadership style in one area and you feel you can take that exact style to another area.
Maybe.
When I was in Denver, Skip, you led one way. When you go to Baltimore, you have to lead an entirely different way. And I think LeBron James is that he thought everybody was going to respond the same way in L.A. like they did to him in Cleveland. And as you go, and you live and you learn, you understand that, okay, sometimes you got to praise a guy. Sometimes you put your arm around a guy and like, hey, bro, it's going to be okay. Next time, there's some guys you got to kick in the butt. But you have to understand the individuality of every single player because it's not one size fit all in a leadership style.
And then too, where he went wrong is, I got to be real, and I love LeBron, but where he went wrong was he made it obvious that he took the back of his best friend, who's the agent, over his teammates. He sided with him over his teammates, and it backfired.
Right.
He should have stayed with his teammates, let his friend do his job, and if however that worked, he's still with his team.
What
so
you
it didn't
want
matter.
to say? Tell me what you want to say.
I want him to come in the locker room and say, look, regardless of what's going on, I'm with y'all. Let them know that. Let them know that. But look, they gotta hear from you because all they hearing from everybody else is they getting traded.
But here's the thing. You and I both know.
Young guys, Shannon. They're young.
I agree with you. But you know that what they saying. This dude in your the same agent that you have, he has. What you talking about you with us?
Yeah.
Stay.
Yeah.
That's like, man, hey, man, I ain't
better ways to go about it.
It's kind of like, Stack, when you tell somebody something. Now, you only told this one person, and it gets out. Bro, I swear I ain't told nobody.
Yeah.
You're like, dude, only person knew was me and you.
Right.
And I definitely didn't tell. What you think them guys looking at? Bro, I'm riding with y'all. I don't know where that coming from. Hey, I don't want no...
It wouldn't be as bad, though, if he would have put himself in that position with them. Let me know I'm with y'all, okay?
So
y'all can get traded, I can get traded. Just make it feel like
You know what the bottom line takeaway from this whole discussion is? This proves once and for all Michael Jordan is the greatest player.
No.
Yes, it does.
You know what?
It does.
You're right, Stack.
It's over. It's over.
Hey,
Period, end of subject.
you know what? Hey, you know what LeBron should have done? He's like, you're right. Hey, guys, I'm with y'all. I don't know where this Anthony Davis coming from. Well, y'all need to see y'all stuff.
Yeah, now they're trying to play catch up. Okay, Steven, we're going to leave it for now, but you're going to come back later in the show. You guys can continue this. All right, should NFL teams be worried about taking Kyler Murray number 1? We will discuss that with D'Angelo Hall next.
No mercy.
Kyler Murray could be the number 1 overall pick next month, but he apparently didn't leave a good first impression with a lot of teams at the Combine. Former NFL GM Charlie Casserly, who now works for NFL Network, said the comments he heard about Kyler were the worst he's ever heard about a highly rated quarterback. The Heisman Trophy winner reportedly didn't do well in interviews that emphasized leadership, study habits, and board work. Right now, Kyler is the co-favorite to be the top pick with Ohio State defensive end Nick Bosa. Okay, we are joined by FS1 NFL analyst D'Angelo Hall. So, D'Angelo, I want to get your take on this. Do you have any concern taking Kyler number 1?
I mean, I got a little bit of concern, especially hearing this. And, Charlie Cashley is a well-respected guy in the game. And so, to hear that Kyler Murray didn't impress people like I thought he would, it is a little troubling. But on the reverse of that, like, what was the situation? What were the teams? Because, I've been in those interview processes as a player and as a kind of front office guy. And I've seen guys who come in there knowing this team's picking 23. I'm a top 5 pick. I'm just kind of going through the motions. Yeah. So some guys go in that meeting going through the motions like, yes, sir. Yeah, no. Kind of very mum with their answers and just, kind of nonchalant, like, why am I here? Y'all are wasting my time. Now, if that was Kyler's approach, then that's a bad approach because, as you know, anybody, if they fall in love with you, they will do anything to get you. And so, I think the advice for him should have been, hey, look, go in there and let's wow everyone. We already have a lot of marks against who you are because of your height and other things. So let's go in there and let's wow everybody and let's not give them anything to talk about. Because through this whole process, I would have thought that your agent would have given you the playbook. That's the thing that confuses me with why kids don't excel at the Wonderlic or excel at, drills at the combine or even interviews. They've given you the roadmap. Every agent who goes in and recruits you gives you his spiel on why you should pick him. And part of that is, hey, we have some of the best combine prep guys. We can get you we can get you through the interview coach.
And they get to practice on the Wonderlic test that you're going to actually take at the combine.
Yeah, and so I just, I'm just a little confused on if Kyler really was in there trying to woo guys or if he kind of knew, I'm going to Arizona anyway.
Okay, but remember, his agent is Cliff Kingsbury's agent.
I did know that, yeah.
A whole new game that you're playing, right?
For me, the concerns that I have is physical. It has nothing to do with what Charlie said that may or may not be true. I worry about a 5'10" guy that's probably going to play the first part of his career, 4 or 5 years, at barely 200 pounds. Can he withstand the physical rigors of playing quarterback in the NFL, taking that pounding, 16 games, a couple of preseason games every year for the first 5 years? Those are my concerns. It has nothing to do. Skip, I've known some guys that were great on the board. Oh, you call a play? Oh, if we get this coverage, this is where we're going to go with the ball. If we get that coverage, this is where we're going to go with the ball. Or we're going to check out and do that. But couldn't play dead in a horror movie.
Yeah.
So which one do you want? Give me the guy. He might not be the greatest. He might not be Rain Man on the blackboard. Can he play football, Skip? That's what I need to know. I don't need to know all this, no X equal pi square and all that other foolishness. Can he play football? And if he can play football, give me that guy.
And sometimes a blank canvas isn't necessarily bad because if I'm Coach Kingsbury and I can get a blank canvas as opposed to, and I don't know Josh Rosen, but just some of the stories I've heard and some of the things I've seen him say, I could see Coach Kingsbury coming in there trying to show Josh what to do and Josh saying, hold on, I got this. I got this. This is how I watch film, Coach. So I can see Kyler's kind of
Jim Moore Jr.
being more moldable.
Kind of butted heads at UCLA.
Correct. By the way, Tony Romo was Rain Man in the TV booth last year and the year before. And on the football field, I'm trying
to figure if Tony was that good, how did he not figure out a couple times that I was sitting in the weeds waiting for him? But he was pretty amazing, I must say.
Yeah, in the booth.
In the booth.
Yes.
In the booth.
I agree. In the booth. I know you know Charlie Casserly, and he is respected. I thought this came across as out of bounds to me, that these were cheap shots to me. And Jenny said he talked to several teams. I don't know. Did he really talk to several, or was it one? Was it two? Was it the one or two that Kyler had no use for and no business for? I know enough about him. Jenny has interviewed him many times. He doesn't suffer fools lightly. If you don't impress him quickly, he's got no use for you. If he thinks he's wasting his time, he can act like a jerk to you. He got a little crossways with Dan Patrick in that interview, and once you rub him the wrong way, he will rub back. That's how he is constructed. That's how he leads on the football field. He is all business. If you watch, I watched every snap he took at the University of Oklahoma. He leads with his body language, not with what he's saying. He's not verbal vocal. It's all about how he plays. He is a clutch, big moment playmaker. And when he throws a touchdown pass or runs 70 yards for a touchdown, he drops the football and he doesn't celebrate. He just goes with his teammates back to the bench. He doesn't wear, he's got a big chip on his shoulder, just like Baker Mayfield, but he doesn't wear his chip on his sleeve. It comes across as smoldering chip, like he's going to show you. He's not going to, Baker will tell you what he's going to do to you, and then he will show you. Then he'll back it up. But this kid is more quiet. He might come across as a touch shy. He's going to size you up, and if he doesn't know you, he's going to be a little leery of you. And I don't know what his agent told him to do in some interviews if he said, just shut it down for this one because we're not interested in that team.
Yeah.
You also have to be careful because they use it as reconnaissance. It's like reverse psychology where they're going to pick your brain because they know they're not going to take you, but they're going to have to compete against you.
Yep.
What are you made of?
Yep.
What makes you tick? Show me something here. But how in 15 minutes you could conclude that he's not a leader and that he doesn't have good work habits, I don't know, because I'm not sure how that comes across in a 15-minute interview. Help me out.
Yeah, I mean, it's almost impossible. Having sat in those rooms on both ends of the spectrum, it's very hard. Sometimes we barely get through one clip, and it's like, the horn's blown. So you're kind of like, well, man, we didn't get much out of that guy.
Okay.
And so, I definitely go back to that, like, how much could you really have gotten? And, like I said, Charlie is well respected. I disagree with a lot of things Charlie Cashley says normally, but I don't know this whole story. I don't know Kyler Murray at all. From what I see, I think the biggest thing for me is I want to see what kind of leader he is. I think, when I heard Freddie Kitchens talk about Baker Mayfield and the process in which they went through in drafting him, he was just like, these guys' numbers are very similar. They might can throw the ball, they might can run. But it's something about Baker, man. When he walks in a room, like, guys rally behind him. Guys want to follow him.
Yep.
And if that can be Kyler Murray, he can be very, very special because the things he can do on a field, unmatched.
But, D'Angelo, you knows what goes with some of the stereotypical things that Charlie said. Because when you say he's not good on the board, and all you ought to demand
Not
go,
smart.
he's not smart.
Yep.
Well, is he going to prepare? Oh, he's lazy.
Is he lazy?
So I just don't. You have to be really, really careful when you say these things. And for me, just say I heard a lot of negative feedback on Kyler Murray.
Yeah.
You don't have to get into specifics.
But to open that can up.
Right. Skip, I talked to 3 or 4 different teams and that interviewed Kyler Murray. And the report that I got back from these teams, they weren't all glowing. There were some red flags that these teams have about this young man. But when you start going there, Skip, because we've heard it, Cam and Vince Young, and it's just a place that I don't think Charlie was, man, this is gonna be malicious. He's just telling you what he heard. But you have to be careful.
1 or 2 or 10.
Or how
I don't
many?
know. I don't know. I would like to know for sure. Because in the end, the tape does not lie.
Yes.
If you put this tape on, all he did was pull off the greatest statistical year in college football history. And I realize his coach is calling his plays and is in his ear constantly because they're looking to the sideline for the call every time.
They're going to call his plays in the NFL, too.
Right? It'll be the same thing. But listen, Kyler can see it and feel it. Trust me. He's low interception rate. He's accurate with the football. All of his gut instincts are correct, and he is pass first. He is not run first. He is going to use the quickest feet I've ever seen on a football field to create throwing lanes and time to throw the football. And he can wing it.
Skip believe he can outrun Vic.
Nah. Nah. You see my face?
No.
And it ain't even close.
I told you.
Even Michael Vick said that Vic can't outrun Lamar Jackson.
I mean, that's what Mike's supposed to say. When I was a young kid, Mike used to always say, D-Hall, man, you beat me in a race every single time. But then when we get out there, when we start running and he's in the middle of a drill, I'm trying to get him.
I don't think people. Mike was legit 4.33.
Not 4.2. 4-2.
Mike was legit. Mike can run, Skip.
Yeah, legit.
I
4-2.
believe Kyler can go 4-2. I just
Really?
do.
You think
I
so?
just do.
No way.
I don't see it. I see those little legs, and it kind of
Take a
gives
whole
you
lot of steps. He ain't going nowhere.
that false perception that he's really
Darren
running really,
Sproles.
really
It's
fast.
not false. I've watched it. He can move.
Jenny,
He
4-2.
can move. I don't know about 4-2.
Yeah, heck, I ran
4-3
4-1, and I'm telling you, that dude ain't running 4-2.
4-1?
Yeah, 4-1. 4-1 at Virginia Tech.
But we're talking
I got
about
the record.
his leadership,
I got Vic's
though.
record.
You got 4-1?
Yep.
Wait a second. You ran 4-1?
Yep.
What'd you run the combine?
4-3-1. But I wasn't supposed to run. You got to let me tell my story. You got to let me
Okay,
tell my
there's more
story.
to
You got to
the
let me tell my
story.
story. I wasn't supposed to run. So, the top-rated guys never run. So all week I wasn't running. I lifted hard, so my legs were still heavy, didn't taper down, while all the other guys were tapering down because they knew they were going to run. Daryl Eto, who was our speed coach at Athletes Performance, came there to work a lot of guys out. And, I was warming up with him, running really fast. And he was like, wow, D-Hall, man, you probably should run. And I'm like, nah, I'm not going to run. My agent said I shouldn't run. So I get in there and I'm doing all these interviews and I'm wowing everybody because that's what I'm supposed to do. I'm wowing everybody.
can.
And so Coach Vermeil gets in there. He's like, D'Angelo, why don't you want to run? I'm like, well, Coach, my agent told me not to run. I've been lifting through this process. And so, my legs aren't really ready. And he just starts crying. Why wouldn't you run for us? You got all 32 teams here, D'Angelo. And I'm watching him and I'm tearing up. Okay, Coach, I'll run for you. And I ran. So. But wasn't necessary. I didn't even have my shoes. I borrowed somebody's shoes, ran. But
4-3-1, you said?
4-3-1.
On a bad day?
Yeah, on a bad
Still
day.
pretty
He said
impressive.
fast
What
guys
do you
run
think you weighed
fast.
Yeah,
that day?
205. Because I had bulked up weight-wise, drinking gallons of water to try to be a little heavier.
I'm still impressed.
Well, you almost pulled a Dion. Dion flew in town that morning, took a sweats off, ran 140, said, I'm out.
Yeah, that was a different time. They'd have blacklisted me if I'd have ran and just left.
I just want to read one quote from Lincoln Riley. He was on Dan Patrick today. He said, Kyler was a tremendous leader for us. Tremendous leader, aggressive. All he cares about is winning. And I think our team took on that personality without a doubt.
And that's who opinion that I would
That's
definitely
whose opinion
trust.
matters.
Without
Now
a
he's
doubt.
having to go on and kind of defend the guy. I find that interesting. He's not going to just say those things unless he means it.
Yeah, no.
All right. Either way, D'Angelo, thank you for joining us.
Thank
Always
you.
good to get your take. Well, Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving team up this summer, but not in New York. We've got some juicy details coming up next.
I wasn't supposed to run.
No mercy.
Kyrie Irving and Kevin Durant were on the same court last night as the Celtics blew out the Warriors. There has been a lot of speculation that they'll join forces with the Knicks this summer, but our friend Chris Broussard said this morning on First Things First that they may be having second thoughts. Take a listen.
The dream scenario for the Clippers is Kawhi and KD. And I was told yesterday by a good source, we all know Kyrie and KD are considering the Knicks, right? Mm-hmm. But I was told that they have some apprehensions about New York. Why? Because of the media.
Yeah,
they really, which makes all the sense in the world from what we've seen.
Them two together?
That could benefit the Clippers.
Okay, Steven Jackson back with us. What do you make of those rumors?
Well, at the end of the day, wherever they sign, they won't be getting asked the same questions they're getting asked now. Right. First of all, okay? And regardless where they sign and where they go, somebody's going to ask them a dumb question and they're going to get upset.
Right.
Okay? That's going to happen. Wherever they sign, it's going to happen. Okay? Let's just say that. Now, they talk a lot. Everybody know they're good friends. Nobody knows where they're going, but we all know that they want to play together. Where they're going, I don't know, but it'll be good to see them together in the Clippers. I think that would be great to see two stars go to the Clippers. In L.A., with what LeBron has going on, I think that'll be great for L.A., yeah.
When I look at it, if you don't like dealing with the media, because ain't no media like New York. None. Zero. Nothing in the world. That's a different animal. That's a different beast. And if you think asking a dumb question, but see, asking a dumb question in Boston or getting asked a dumb question in Golden State is one thing, and you reacting like we've seen these guys react. They ask you a dumb question in New York and you respond that way, they're going to run that thing for the next week. You're going to be in the paper. Now, here's the thing, Skip. Look, I think KD would be very, very reluctant to join LeBron and with the Lakers for the simple fact of his legacy. He's chasing LeBron. I don't want to link up with him. I want to try and beat him. Kyrie realizes how good he had it because LeBron let him be him. You want to go get 25 a night? Go get it, bro. You good.
True.
Because now I can be off the court and no Kyrie. I ain't got when he say he wanted playmakers, I think he meant something like Kyrie.
Yeah.
But the guy the Gates playmaker, they ain't Kyrie. He can be off the court for stretches, Skip, and Kyrie can dance and do his thing, because we know Kyrie can dance with the best of them with the basketball.
Oh, my goodness.
So with that being said, look, I do agree with Chris Broussard. I don't believe Kawhi is re-signing with Toronto. And I think his ideal scenario would have probably been play with the Lakers, provided LeBron didn't beat him to the punch and join the Lakers. So I can see a scenario with KD and Kawhi. And then where did that leave Kyrie Irving? Mm-hmm. Right back where it all started.
Yep.
Put the band back together. We tried it. We went our separate ways. And it, did okay. Had a gold album. LeBron had a platinum album. Went to the finals last year. But ain't nothing like what we had when we were together.
So you're saying LeBron and Kyrie only
No,
with the Lakers?
LeBron, Kyrie, and AD.
And AD?
Yeah, because KD ain't chasing LeBron. Let me tell you that. He's not chasing LeBron.
That's what I'm talking about.
What do you mean by chasing? Like
Like LeBron's chasing Michael Jordan.
Oh, okay, I got
KD is not chasing LeBron. KD in his own world. He just love hooping.
He just
love hooping,
but you
bro.
know what? He should go with LeBron then, because LeBron gonna get all the questions. He get to fade in the background and just hoop.
We know that's not possible. That's not possible.
I still believe there's a side of Kevin Durant that would like the idea of I'm going to go help save LeBron's legacy to provide him another championship. And obviously, if Kyrie and Kevin have become kind of a package deal, they're almost like become best friends. Is that fair? Mm-hmm. Close?
Close.
Yeah. Then Kyrie and Kevin with the Lakers, that I wouldn't rule that out. I could see that as a possibility, a distinct possibility. Kevin's not above that, not thinking like that. So the other thing that I'm going to caution people on is Kyrie and Kevin have become so close that it looked like at the All-Star game they were actually staging things to plant seeds in the media of, oh, we're going to do this or we're going to do that, because they don't like the media. So they said, let's just toy with the media. Mm-hmm. Let's jack them around. Let's make them think this or think that. Mm-hmm. And so now we have until July 1st, and those two are going to conspire to mislead the media at every juncture that they can. I also occasionally find both Kevin and Kyrie are deep thinkers, but they're still sometimes childlike to me in that they're all over the map. Yeah. And they wake up one morning and it's like, I'm done with this. And the next morning, it's not so bad here. So to me, they're going to change their minds 1,000 times before July 1st.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. I can see that happening.
No question.
But look, Kyrie is never going to have it as good as he had it with O'Bron. Philip Bailey had to realize that when he left Earth, Wind, and Fire. He left, tried to do the thing on his own. He had to come back. You remember?
Hey, they still got time left. Boston can still go on a run. And we can be saying different stuff about them at the end of the season. Mm-hmm. So
I still don't believe he's going back to Boston.
Yeah. Honestly, I don't either.
I don't either.
I don't care what happens. I don't think he's going back to Boston.
I'm just getting a stronger and stronger feeling. Kevin Durant is not going to stay in Golden State. Could that change depending on what the outcome is this year? Sure.
Yeah.
All I know is AD going to L.A.
I know KD want that bag, though. He can get that bag right there in Golden State.
He can get it.
The biggest bag.
Yeah.
But
he deserved the bag.
But see, when you make that kind of money, and with what he has going on in Silicon Valley, he let somebody run that. He gonna get the bag coming.
Yeah, you can go anywhere, but right here in the West, where he at, I think that's where he like it out here. The weather's different.
Well, it ain't that weather up there ain't better than that weather down here. Northern California weather ain't got nothing like old Southern California. I know.
Not quite the same.
You know what? There are parts up there.
It's cold up there right now.
But in the East Bay, it's beautiful. Man.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
It ain't beautiful like Malibu.
Cold. It's cold.
It ain't
right
like
now,
Beverly Hills and Bel Air.
It's cold in San Francisco.
Yeah.
Real cold.
It is.
Yes.
Where I'm at, Bel Air, where I'm at, I ain't in Bel Air. I'm stopped there.
You're close.
I'm close. I'm close.
You're
I'm
just a
walking
few
distance.
blocks.
Yeah,
I'm
I'm walking
Picturing
distance.
you up on the hill in Bel Air.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Living life.
You know.
Life is good for you.
Yeah.
It ain't bad. It ain't bad.
I'm out on LA weather now because LeBron ruined it. He brought Cleveland.
ruined it?
He brought Cleveland to LA.
Skip,
It's his fault. Am I right?
I mean, it's been a weird winter.
It's rained more in since in 2019 than it rained all end of 2016, 17, and 18.
I think than in the last 50 years.
Yeah.
Because I was here for 3 years in the 70s, and I swear it rained one day in 3 years.
Yeah.
Now it rains every day.
Well, now at least we know why.
Well, it's LeBron's fault.
It makes sense.
Right.
Bringing the rain.
But guess what? Sunshine ahead.
Yeah.
My grandpa used to always say, boy, sunshine follows rain.
Really?
It's coming.
He said that?
Yeah, it's coming, Skip.
When's it coming?
Oh, when we get AD, Kyrie.
Oh,
We gonna get AD, Kyrie?
KD.
No, we can't have all that, Skip. It won't be fair.
No, the commissioner would veto that one.
Could be a different.
We all know they don't like players coming to LA, so they will do something to that.
Okay, that's the sunshine we're going to be waiting for. All right, Stephen, thank you for joining us today. Are the Baltimore Ravens making some big mistakes with their roster this offseason? We'll discuss all the latest next.
We'll take you too, Clay.
No mercy.
The Ravens roster could be getting a big facelift this offseason. CBS Sports says there is a very real possibility that longtime Ravens linebacker Terrell Suggs could leave the team and become a free agent. Suggs is the franchise leader in sacks and has played all of his 16 seasons in Baltimore. In another defensive move, they released safety Eric Weddle. Weddle played the last 3 seasons in Baltimore and made the Pro Bowl all 3 years. Shannon, it's your former franchise. Are you surprised they let these guys go?
I'm shocked if Suggs does not return. Skip, I think, these great Ravens, the Ray Lewises, the Jonathan Ogden, Ed Reed, who's going into the Hall of Fame this year, he left and went to Houston because he wanted a few extra dollars.
Yep.
But I think he would have been better served to stay, take a little less money to stay in Baltimore. These guys should finish their career, play for one team. That's what they deserve. Am I surprised with Weddle? No, not really, because guess what? I got released after I made the Pro Bowl in Baltimore. So, no, I'm not surprised. They got to have to pay because C.J. Mosley, he's up. He's going to command the king's ransom. They didn't put the franchise tag on him. And you're going to have to pay him a king's ransom, Skip, or he's going to leave. But I'm surprised with Suggs. I'm not as surprised with Weddle. But they're going to save about, I think, $7 million by releasing Weddle. But I would be surprised if Suggs doesn't come back at a reduced rate because he was still productive. He had 7 sacks in 2018. He had 11 sacks in 2017. But I am surprised that Suggs, if he doesn't return, but I'm not as surprised with Weddle.
I would now like my Dallas Cowboys to go after Terrell Suggs and Eric Weddle, both. And yet Calvin Watkins of The Athletic has tweeted just a couple hours ago that now the Cowboys have no interest in Earl Thomas or Landon Collins because they're too expensive, and that they have no interest in Eric Weddle either. Price is everything, says Calvin Watkins of The Athletic. And I just about threw up in my mouth. Like, what?
Skip, y'all got other needs you need to address.
You know how much I love T-Sizzle.
Yep.
And he and I have had many battles on and off the air. But he used to say he went to Ball So Hard University, and he did.
Yep.
He came from the school of hard knocks because he can deliver hard knocks, right?
Yep.
When I watched the Ravens last year, I saw him flash a lot. He can still create chaos. Maybe he's doing it more with his head than his physique right now, but he is 36 years of age. He'll be 37 next October. I think he's got some game left in him. I think he's got plays left in that body of his and in that head of his because he just knows how to play football.
Agreed.
Right?
Yep.
So I would love to see the Cowboys go after him if they have to pay a little more for him because they just lost Randy Gregory. We don't know for how long, maybe for good, who knows. And DeMarcus Lawrence is iffy going to camp because it could turn into a big holdout. It could turn into a Le'Veon Bell situation.
Yeah, it should.
Yeah.
Pay the man.
Yeah.
Pay him.
Yeah.
You got $250 million to buy you a yacht, half a bill for a yacht. DeMarcus Lawrence said, I want a boat too.
Yeah.
I want a Chris Craft.
Yeah, but in the NFL, they have this thing called a cap.
Well,
No cap on a yacht.
Well, put the cap, put the bag in big caps.
Yeah.
B-A-G, caps.
Wants the bag.
Yes.
And you want to destroy my Dallas
Skip,
Cowboys, but that's okay.
Skip, we've given the Cowboys so much trouble for their drafts. Skip, they've hit it out the park with the 3 linemen. They've hit it out the park with Lawrence. They hit it out the park with these guys. Now you got to pay. You got to pay for Zeke. You got to pay Dak. You got to pay DeMarcus Lawrence. Byron Jones said he want the bag too. Guess what? Jalen Smith said next year I want the bag.
Okay. I still think this team is on the verge of being a Super Bowl team, but there are a couple of key pieces that need to be added. Jerry keeps talking about, I'm getting old and this is it. My window is closing.
Yeah, we tried to start with that pity party, Jerry.
Yeah, he's only 76. It's not like he's 96.
But hey, guess what? He won some Super Bowls in his 50s.
Yeah,
and he ain't
did.
been to miss all his 60s and
Yep.
he's about to miss his 70s.
Yep. And I'm not sure Jerry's doing any cardio as we speak. 'Cause I don't think he's into cardio or anything. But the point is, these are the kind of moves you make that win championships. You go get T. Sizzle or Eric Weddle. Do I like Jeff Heath? I like him. He's pretty good.
Yeah.
Do I like Xavier Woods? He flashed occasionally for me. Are they okay? They're okay.
You're talking about Pro Bowl and all pro players.
Hey,
Yeah, it's different.
Eric Weddle's made 6 Pro Bowls and 2 first-team All-Pros. He knows how to play football.
Right.
Again, maybe at his age, it's more head than physique.
But Skip, this notion that players are going to do for their current team like what Patriots do for the Patriots, players do for the Patriots. They're not giving this discount. Tom Brady has, and you see the Patriots, they didn't franchise Gostkowski or anybody. It's like, okay, test the market, because guess what, Skip? If you don't get what you want, you're going to come back and play for us at our price. These guys like, nah, bro, I need that. I need all that. I need all that. I need all that bag.
Yep.
Not half the bag. I need all of it. Filled to the rim.
Was I shocked the Giants gave up on Landon Collins?
I am.
Like, what?
Yeah.
I don't know.
But what happens to teams, Skip? What keeps dynasties, especially in the free agency era? They get that money. Somebody can offer you more than your current team. And so, hey, I got a Super Bowl. How many rings do I need? Do I stay and try to get another ring, or do I get an extra 10, 15, $20 million? Jenny, you tell me, Jenny.
I mean, I don't think it's hard to figure
Exactly.
out where I would
Skip
go.
Bayless will give Jerry a discount. Man worth $5.5, $6 billion. I wish I might.
So is my dream or my pipe dream to have Earl Thomas in a Dallas Cowboy uniform?
It ain't happening.
Yes.
I told you it wasn't going to happen.
Okay.
What do you want, Skip?
He's going to have to take a home state discount.
No.
Not a hometown, home state.
They like
He
those.
grew up wanting to play for the Dallas Cowboys. He went to the University of Texas wanting to play in Dallas. Now he has a chance, but he's going to have to take a significant discount.
You notice that, Jenny? Millionaires always need to give you a discount. Billionaires never take a discount. How does that
It's weird
work?
how that works.
Yeah, I'm like, hold on, wait a minute. This dude has 57 times the money that I have. But you want me to give him a discount. I can't go to the store and say, hey, man, give me a discount. Ain't getting no discount, no, Skip, I'm sorry.
Did your grandfather ever say money can't buy happiness?
It can rent it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I ain't trying to. I don't need it long term. Just for a couple of years.
Couple of years? I'm not sure it can rent it.
Yeah, it can.
I'm not sure.
What?
No. Money can't buy happiness, but championships buy happiness. Yep.
Yeah, I've seen a lot of guys win championships be miserable.
Really?
Yeah.
You're not one of them, I don't think. I hope not.
No, I need
No,
the
he
bag
was
too.
pretty happy.
Because I was happy. Got that first paycheck. No, when I first made that big money, when I went to Baltimore, Skip, I was so happy. Oh, man, I ain't never been so happy in my life.
What's the first thing you bought? Huge purchase.
The first thing?
Yeah.
At that point, I ain't really need anything. I had all the diamond watches and had the big diamond
had it
pendant.
all?
Yeah, I ain't need all that, Skip.
Okay.
But I did, I just looked at that check. Because back then, I loved them. They're like, you want us to direct deposit? I said, no. You need to see me that sign up on this check. Skip, I just had to look at that thing. I was like, oh, my goodness. I took a picture of it and everything. I said, let me look at all these zeros. Ooh, that was the good. If somebody called me a zero, I said, I don't care. I'm a zero. I got a bunch of them in this check.
Okay, so the point was and is that was money well spent.
Yes.
Because that money contributed to a championship.
Yes.
Correct?
Yes.
You were the key piece, a correct piece to add to the offense
Yes.
because the defense is pretty stacked. right?
They were loaded.
Yeah. So they needed somebody to make a play occasionally at tight end
Right.
or wide out.
You
whatever.
have to, Skip, here's the thing with free agency. You know you have to overpay.
Yep.
Because if you don't overpay, why would the guy leave a situation, his kids are already in school, he's gotten comfortable in that area. If he's married or has a significant other, they've gotten comfortable in that area. So why would I just move for $5 more? Or why would I take a pay cut to come to you? No! You got to give me a reason to get up out of here, Skip. You got to give me a reason to get up out of here.
All of a sudden, Baltimore is going in a shocking new direction.
I am surprised.
No Ozzie, new direction.
But Skip, Eric has been there, DeCosta has been there for a long, long time. He learned under Ozzie.
Now he's his own man. Okay, so he's saying
I'll be shocked. I would be shocked if Mosley is not back.
Yeah.
I would be shocked if at a reduced rate Suggs isn't back. I would be shocked.
okay. I want him in Big D.
No.
It's the fitting conclusion to a great career.
No.
Yep.
No.
I just want you happy about the Cowboys.
Just one. I need one key new piece.
Oh, you want DeMarcus Lawrence? So you want
happy about
DeMarcus Lawrence to take a pay cut, huh?
I do, because he's not worth the kind of money.
Yes,
he's
he
talking
is.
About. He is not.
But I tell you what, you know what, Skip? He might not be. But tell Jerry to take that franchise tag and see what somebody else give him. If he's not worth it, why you care if he's worth it or not? If you don't got to pay it.
You know, right now, even at age 36, I'll take Suggs over DeMarcus Lawrence.
I do, man.
He's only 26, I think.
No way.
Huh? I'll take Suggs
So let me.
still.
I just want to make sure I'm hearing you. You want DeMarcus Lawrence. You want Zeke. You want Dak. You want Cooper. You want all them guys to get Jerry a pay cut.
You realize they have $49 million under the cap, clear to spend?
Oh, DeMarcus Lawrence need all that.
Yeah.
He
wants all that.
He need all that.
Yeah.
Money.
Yeah, and after the first 4 games last year, he had no more sacks.
Yes, he did, Skip. When
money.
you where was Randy Gregory?
Yeah.
Where you got David Irvin, Skip? You need somebody so you can slide protection up and down.
Got some tough decisions to make.
Suggs.
Okay.
Come
You heard it
join
here
us.
first.
Dak
You
said-
heard
Dak-
it here first.
I already talked to Dak. Dak said he want about 29.
Okay. A new mock draft is out, guys. It has some shocking top 10 picks. We'll discuss. We'll tell you next.
No mercy.
Well, the NFL draft is 7 weeks away, and ESPN's Todd McShay put out his latest mock draft this morning. He has Kyler Murray going first to the Cardinals, the other quarterback, Dwayne Haskins, going 6th to the Giants, Mississippi State defensive end Montez Sweat and Ole Miss receiver DK Metcalf stole the show at the Combine, and they both jumped into the top 10. So, Shannon, what was your takeaway from this newest mock?
After all that talk, a lot of it negative about Kyler Murray. He's still number one.
Yep.
Also, by Todd McShay's latest mock, 6 of the top 10 picks. From what conference, Skip? But I guess they don't play no football in the SEC. But that ain't none of my business. Skip, I just threw that out there. Skip, I would be very leery of Metcalf. His injury history and a guy that rolls up the draft board. Now, I don't know how they envision him going into it, but running it as well as he did, lifting as well as he did, and jumping as well as he did. But I know a guy that had a very similar career that rolls up the draft board, and where they have him pegged to go, he went in the very same spot 2 years ago. John Ross. Had some injury history. Had the year before, he tore his ACL.
He did.
Ran 4.22, had a great combine, rolls up the draft, Cincinnati. Now it's being reported they're shopping John Ross.
Yeah.
I would always be leery of that. I'm going to watch the tape.
Okay.
The injury history concerns me. He had a neck issue. He overcame that, had a foot issue as a freshman. So injuries always scare me, especially somebody that big, and the kind of torque that he puts on his body that's going to be required that he put on his body to get in and out of breaks over and over and over again. But the biggest takeaway, Skip, yeah, there were some negative things about Kyler Murray being, but he's still number one. And for most of the mocks that I've seen, he's remained number one.
And he will go number one. I don't want to put words in our man Joel's mouth because he was here, what day was it, Monday? And yet he was with you on DK Metcalf to the point that I'm pretty sure he dropped him more as a second-round pick. And now Todd McShay has him all the way up at 9. 9?
Yeah.
Wow. So he's a top 10 pick. And I have no problem with him being a top 10 pick. For me, I told you before, I think I told Joel on Monday, I love DK Metcalf's bloodlines, his family tree, his heritage. His grandfather and his uncle were game breakers. They were two of the all-timers. And you can't tell me he didn't inherit some of that, just that big play ability. He walks on a field and thinks he's that guy because he can be that guy. And I don't care about all the physique and all this. I did see a lot of him, and when you see the highlights and you see the tape, he's a one-hand catcher. He makes spectacular plays. He burned Alabama on their first offensive play of the game. Just blew right by the corner.
But Skip, there's not that many plays in the playbook that requires you to run a go route or a post pattern. There are more in and out breaks than post and goes.
Okay, he ran all-time poor short drills, like the cone drill or the
short shuttle.
Short shuttle. He was all-time bad in both. So he's not a route runner, and his route tree was simplistic at best at Ole Miss. I'm just telling you, he can be beast mode at receiver.
Right.
He is a tight end of a receiver at wideout who can run that fast. He can run by people, and he's got weird hands where occasionally he'll drop a ball, but he will make spectacular catches left and right. He will force a defense to honor him. You're going to have to honor him.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because he's so big and so fast and so athletic and can catch the ball anywhere it's thrown. Sometimes the ones in the numbers, not so much. But the point is, the Sweat one shocked me because he vaulted all the way up to 5th. And again, I didn't watch that much Mississippi State because they weren't very good. I think they finished 8-5 this year. But then I look at the numbers, and he quietly piled up 12 and a half sacks in the SEC. That's pretty good. The SEC isn't the Big 12 anymore.
Don't do that, Skip.
Right?
Don't do that.
Because the Big 12 just keeps producing Heisman winners and first overall picks.
All I know is that they keep reducing the most players selected in the NFL draft. That's all I know.
Really?
Yeah, that's all I know, Skip.
Yeah, I kind of.
But I love how you put all his highlights. Where did you see DK Metcalf running, Jenny? Go routes. You ain't see nothing about he getting in and out of breaks. No out routes, no in cuts, no digs, no overs. Well, that's going to require a lot. I'm not surprised about Sweat, Skip, because you play Sweet. You play in this conference and you put up those numbers. Okay, now people want to say, well, dang, he looked quick. Combine confirmed what they saw on tape.
Yep.
He's quick. He can run. He can move, and you want that because there's a lot of bubble screens now. Everybody's trying to get the ball because you play in space so much. Let's just get the ball to the receivers, and the D linemen are going to have to turn and chase. That's what that drill is. A lot of times you see that now. They turn and chase. You're like, whereas before, D line wasn't turning and chasing. They're like, oh, I didn't get the quarterback. Oh, well, he gone. Now you have to turn and chase wide receivers and running backs. They catch a little jailbreak and bubble screens. So I'm not surprised, but I would just be leery. Now, his uncle, Eric Metcalf, went to a couple of Pro Bowls with him. Skip, he was special. Now, I don't know if he had this kind of speed, but as far as starting and stopping, no, you couldn't touch this kid. I mean, his uncle was special. Oh, he was special. I mean, they throw it to him, hand it to him. He run back punts and kickoffs and everything. Now, if he had that kind of start-stop and can run like this, oh, yeah, he should be a top 5 pick. But I get it. You know, bloodlines do have a lot to do with it. That's why you see the Mannings, you see the Matthews.
So here's the pick I would be most leery of. The pick of Dwayne Haskins still going 6 to the Giants, I think would be a long-term mistake for the Giants. I don't think it would get them out of the Eli Manning woods that they're stuck in right now.
Where would you think he would go?
I'm with The Athletic. It came to the conclusion last week in its analysis he's a second-round pick. And I believe that. And I watched the whole combine on Saturday. He was maybe just had a bad day because he can't put too much stock in the combine, but he was inaccurate all day. His body language wasn't commanding to me. When Deshaun Watson was at the combine that day, he just took over the quarterback group, and it was clear. He's the alpha.
Right.
He's the leader of this group. Oh. And I didn't see it from Dwayne. I like the numbers he put up.
Maybe he's a quiet leader.
Okay, maybe he is. I don't know. But then I watched 3 of his receivers, Paris Campbell and McLaurin and Johnny Dixon, they just blazed. They're 4-3, 4-3, 4-4-1. And I'm thinking, wow, he's got that much firepower at receiver. And then
that's why he had 50 touchdown passes.
Right?
That's why he had 4,800 yards, Skip.
And the problem the Athletic had with him, he threw so many underneath passes that turned into big plays.
Right.
A lot of checkdowns, a lot of underneath routes.
You ain't got no problem with Tom Brady doing that.
Tom Brady can throw it over your head.
You ain't got no problem with Tom Brady throwing all them.
See that pass to Gronk?
How many go routes he throw to Julian Edelman?
Tom Brady threw for 505 yards in a Super Bowl.
Well, we're not
broke the all-time record.
He did all that.
Yeah.
Tom Brady is all-time great.
Those
He's historically good. I'm just asking you a simple question, Skip. You have no problem with him fishing around the edges.
Well, fishing around, but he can throw it over your head, too.
Oh, Dwayne Haskins didn't throw no bombs?
I'm sure he threw something to Paris Campbell. I hope he did.
Yeah.
Paris Campbell ran 4.31.
It's hard for me to believe that all 50 touchdowns came on short routes and the receiver broke tackle and got into the end zone.
And The Athletic also concluded that he struggles a little bit when he gets any pressure in the pocket, because I don't think he got a lot of pressure.
What quarterback didn't get pressure? You remember in Denver when Tom Brady got pressure, how'd he look, Skip?
Yeah.
And 2 years before that, how'd he look, Skip?
Yeah.
What quarterback doesn't struggle when somebody putting a helmet up under their chin?
Yeah. Alabama tried to put the heat on Kyler, but boy, he just
Got it.
Just started
Quinny Williams. Yeah. He put him in that rear naked choke.
Yep.
Yeah, had his helmet twisted.
How did Kyler do all that damage to Nick Saban's defense without Hollywood Brown?
What damage?
Didn't have him.
What damage?
What damage?
Yeah. Oh, you talking about that damage in the second half when the game was out of
Did
reach?
some damage.
Oh,
Did a lot of
28-0.
Shannon.
Before you knew it,
Just 'cause that's your team.
28-0.
Okay, will LeBron officially become the GOAT tonight? Officially, we will explain
GOAT?
next.
Sheep, man.
No mercy.
Time for our final topic of the day. Well, LeBron and the Lakers are fading in the playoff picture, but he can still set a huge milestone tonight against the Nuggets. LeBron needs only 13 points to pass Michael Jordan for 4th place on the all-time scoring list. So, Shannon, how many will LeBron score tonight?
27.
He always scores 27.
What he got in him?
Yeah.
27, 8, and 8.
27.
Yeah.
And he's going to be close. He probably have about 13 of them, and he probably have like 13 in the first quarter.
Really?
Yeah,
well, that means the confetti's going to fall at the end of the
There
first
is no
quarter.
confetti
It's
falling
going to
down.
fall all over
Yeah.
the floor. We're going to have to call timeout. We're going to have to stop the game. We're going to have to preserve the basketball. He's going to send it to the museum that he created at his I Promise school up in Akron, right?
What we do
or maybe to
Is
Springfield.
that what we do is
Right?
that we celebrate milestones after the game. We
Yeah.
never stop games to celebrate
It'll
milestones.
be stopped. This is
Because if
it.
we do that, Skip, we be stopping games every like 5 or 6 minutes because he breaking something every like 3 or 4 minutes.
Really?
Yep.
Huh. Well, this is not going to be a GOAT game tonight. This is going to be a pig game, as in lipstick on the pig, because the pig is 30-34 with the disaster that is the Los Angeles Lakers. And all of a sudden, we're going to stop the game because finally, after it took him 117 more games
Stop
than
saying
Jordan, 117 more games to pass Jordan on the all-time scoring list, and everybody will decree that clinches it. He's better than Jordan.
You know what I'm
That
having a hard time
clinches
understanding?
nothing.
Jenny, you know what I'm
What?
having a hard time understanding?
What?
I'm having a hard time understanding that LeBron James has attempted 1,100 more three-pointers than Michael Jordan. He's played in 117 more games, and he's played, 5,000 more minutes. And somehow Jordan still has more shot attempts by over 1,000. Had it by like 2,000 coming into the season, but he's 1,300 right now.
Yeah, but
how is
LeBron
that possible?
outscored Michael by 3,500 points to the three-point line.
I don't know if we'll ever be on the same page about this one.
No mercy.
Thanks for listening to the Undisputed Podcast. I'm Jenny Taft. Join us again at the same time tomorrow morning, 9:30 Eastern. We'll see you then.
Fox Sports. One of one.